Can you find the song?
If you hear me.
That's it?
Yeah, that's what I wanted. There was a couple ones I wanted to play, but that was the main one. Just like, I always think that's a funny theme.
I mean, it's appropriate. It's definitely appropriate. But the fact that man, see, I was thinking about the sound bites. Like every time I think about Scott Steiner, I think about the sound bites.
Yeah, that's what. See, that's thing. Me and the Black Wrestling guys talked about him briefly the other day, in a way how like he's an innovator in wrestling for like a big guy doing her Frankensteiners and shit like that. But like I think he's more remembered now as being a meme with the math.
Yeah.
You take this divided by this, that includes my chances, and that 60% of 80% is 200%, and then Pete Williams is like, what the fuck's going on here? Like,
him and Raka Khan.
Yeah, but
who has huge heat with Awesome Khan. I gotta stop calling that. I don't know her character's name in Glow. I forgot.
I know her
Miss.
Her gimmick name in Glow, which we'll talk about later, by the way, because that unfortunately got canceled. Even though I haven't seen the third season yet, I still haven't seen it.
I'll be honest with you, I kind of tapped out at the second season.
The second season was good. We'll just talk about it now. Well, here's the rundown. Again, they called us Madmen. He's Banks. I'm Davis. This is episode
Madmen. They called us Madmen.
Yeah. Well, why is that?
They called us a mad. Yeah, because that wouldn't flow if we just named it. They called us Mad Men. Wait, that wouldn't flow. They called us Mad Men. But the thing is, if we get some artwork, or when we do get the artwork, they probably have to put me in a kufi with a beard, and then Thanos will be like, just whatever my skin color is, light, and then with you, it'd just be like probably an OVO chain and white. And no facial hair.
I was gonna say that the logo should be a Thanos silhouette on like the Death Row combined with Death Row Records. Like that should be what the logo should be.
So just him by himself?
Well, no, like him sitting like on like the electric chair a little bit, maybe, or something similar. Or I thought of something like the Outsiders, where like the dripping like ink or blood or whatever that's supposed to be, and it just says like the Madmen, maybe like. But
we could get that. Just I don't want you to get chased by Shug because he's not gonna chase me. But
well, he doesn't own it anymore. I thought Ray J bought it a couple months ago.
He bought the rights to the movie, but knowing Ray J, he probably did buy Death Row. Ray J is the king of LA. I keep telling people that.
Oh yeah, that's what Vince Staples said.
Yeah, I mean it's dude.
And Vince Staples
everything he touches turns to gold. I mean, every time I mention the Raycons, I see the ad, and it's like, just buy me, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna buy some Raycons.
I mean, the biggest is Kim Kardashian. Obviously, he touched her, and she's worth how much? Yeah,
$1 billion, I think.
I think more. But here's the rundown for today's show. We're gonna have our own draft. We're gonna pick 10 men and 10 women from any promotion. This is like if we got like Tony Khan, huge startup money to fund our own wrestling promotion, but we'll just do a way better job, obviously. We're going to talk about some of the best moments in draft history, and that includes all drafts, NBA, NFL, WWE, because the WWE draft is happening currently. It happened last night on SmackDown, and we'll finish on Monday. We'll talk about just kind of the legacy of Perk Angle, because he talked about it with Stone Cold Steve Austin on the Broken Skull sessions on the WWE Network. Then we'll get into the biggest topic, the Kyle O'Reilly appreciation show, which is his amazing match with Finn Balor at TakeOver 31, and how Kyle O'Reilly's been probably the most underrated wrestler in the last decade, I'd say. Then we got the most anticipated movies of 2021, because everything has been delayed this year. Nothing new is coming out at all, except on Netflix and Hulu and what else, which will lead us to why Robert Pattinson should be replaced as Batman. then we'll kind of talk. I don't know if Banks has really kind of heard about this, but Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, his Netflix movie is kind of getting more projects around it. But that speaks on Glow, which we can just get into right now. Is that Glow was canceled by Netflix this past week before its first season even got started filming. And I think it was a good show that captured wrestling. I mean, I didn't watch it, but I asked you last week if you'd want to talk about Ready to Rumble. And I'd say that's probably the biggest thing about pop culture and wrestling in the last 20 something years. In terms
As far as Glow?
yeah, I think Glow, because it was on Netflix, it had very critically, critics loved it, critically successful. But again, with ratings and Netflix, we never really know. But Glow, I think it did wrestling justice in terms of how it told storytelling and how hard it is to actually train, and it did it from the women's perspective, which in the time of the women's revolution, as the time Glow was happening, the women's revolution was taking off. And look at it right now; it's the best thing going on in the WWE with Bayley and Sasha and Asuka and Bianca, and when Charlotte gets back, it's just. And I think Glow happening at the same time was just kind of weird, even though you can tell, because based off that first season, they show in the credits like the Bayley, Sasha Hurricane reverse Frankensteiner when they did like the animated credits. But yeah, like you said, you fell off on season 3, and I haven't watched it yet. But what was your overall feelings on the show?
Well, I fell off at like season 2, like at episode 2 or 3.
Oh,
But like I was telling you earlier before we came on, I have a tendency of falling off of shows.
same.
And then the show I feel like I don't need to catch up on, I'll end up watching, like I'm watching Cobra Kai right now. And it's like, all right, man, like I don't necessarily need to watch Cobra Kai right now, but maybe it is. That's how I process entertainment. If it's not sports, I'm watching like some goofy like comedy show or something like that. But
And I feel like that's with Netflix, is that there's always so much to watch, especially with shows, is that you'll stop and start shows. And that's the thing, like Cobra Kai and Glow are both on Netflix. And like you could stop and watch one and then flip to the other, really. And then start another show and then another show.
yeah, I might actually do that today. I might, run through Glow just because it's coming to an end anyway. And Taya Valkyrie was actually supposed to be on the new season anyway. So that's unfortunate for her. That would have definitely helped her out, especially because John, he's been on a couple things in Hollywood, so that definitely would have boosted it up for both of them for something to do. I mean, they probably still had their connections after wrestling is over, but right now, so to speak, their bread and butter is wrestling because hell, that's the only thing that's going on right now for the most part. Because basketball is about to end. Shit, football may end any day because everybody keep getting sick, but knowing Roger Goodell might be like, nah, they straight. So baseball is almost over. So wrestling, once again, to be in control, especially if they stop the NFL season, which I doubt. But going back with Globe, it's just like you said, it came out the perfect time. We had the women's Evolution come out. The pay-per-view, I think, came out around the same time as the pay-per-view on WWE Network.
Yeah, I think that's the second season, and the pay-per-view were simultaneous because it was summer 2018 and Evolution was the end of summer of 2018. Yeah.
Was it the end of summer? I thought it was like October 2018.
Well, it was either the end of summer or like the start of fall. It was in September, October range.
Yeah, it was somewhere around there, and I'm about to look it up, but I remember it was somewhere around there. But anyway, it came out the perfect time just because I think, every now and then, like when you talked about with Ready to Rumble, it shows like a little bit of how the business runs and good enough where it's like, all right, you don't have to get too deep into it. And if you want to go back to a movie that has something to do with wrestling that was more so behind the scenes, was Beyond the Mat. I remember going to the movies to see Beyond the Mat as a kid. So, and that kind of broke kayfabe to what the business is. But if you want the entertainment aspect, you watch Ready to Rumble. But years later, then they had the wrestler with Mickey Rourke. But then to make a more uplifting version, they had Glow. Like the uplifting stories I kind of like. It's like, they add a little bit of drama. Like with basketball, Blue Chips, it's like drama, but then you got those uplifting part. And then if you want to even go back further than that, the movie with Dr. J, what's the name of it? That say Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the fish that
Yeah.
saved Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So if you want to go back to that, so it's an up and down thing, but more so with Glow, it was around the time where Hollywood was more so, and it's cool. I'm not saying it's bad at all. That's good. We need more of that. It's uplifting women because of the Me Too movement. So it was like, okay, now we need to show that women are more than sex figures, which is absolutely true.
Yeah.
And they came out with Glow because they could have went the route and did an 80s type show with like swole ass dudes walking around. Man, we don't want to see that. We be in the Discord bashing 80s wrestling already. Why do I want to see a show about blonde, swole ass, steroid taking dudes walking around where, far as like for a sight for sore eyes type of thing, I could watch Glow and they got some cool looking women on there that actually are with a great story. So it's not like they pretty and they don't have a story. They got a story about it, which helps market it even more.
Yeah, and that's the thing. In that second season, it kind of addresses the Me Too stuff in it as well, because it was at its peak right then and there, and the characters were kind of on opposite sides of it. One was saying, no, this is what you have to do to be successful in an industry, like in the entertainment industry in general, and especially and that also carries over to the wrestling industry when you hear about horror stories with Fabulous Moolah, being a pimp essentially, and then horror stories like that. But Glow did a good job again of portraying wrestling in a positive light, whereas Ready to Rumble kind of like makes fun of it, or makes fun of the people that like it, really more. So.
But that was great. Going back to watching it now as an adult, I'm like, damn, they had David Arquette really is a mark. But then it's so weird to promote the movie. They had him go over and have that exact match at a pay-per-view. That's how I knew like WCW was coming to the end.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I mean in hindsight. Like, what a shitty idea to have. Like, this is what we'll do to promote this movie. Is that we'll have the star of it compete in this match and win our. It's just like, yeah, you couldn't have come up with a worse idea. I mean, we shit on WWE a lot now in the last couple years of like missing the boat on people or delaying stuff. Like, look at right now, obviously heel Roman Reigns is the best thing going. And years we should have been like, they could have done this 2016, 2017, 2018, and now they pulled it at the right time. They pulled the trigger right when they needed to. For something like, Dave Arquette winning the title, like I don't think WWE would ever go that far. I mean,
no, Vince is crazy, but he's not an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of people that's crazy as hell. We talked about one of them. Well, he's an idiot too. So okay, no, let me just do this. Let me do it this way.
Is you stupid idiot. And he's
let's do that. So it's a lot of people that are geniuses, but they're not idiots. And then there's some people that's idiots and geniuses. And I don't know how your mind keeps up with both, but hey, I guess it's called sugar and shit mixed up together. But no, it was no reason for them to do that. But Ready to Rumble was great because it showed like, it's some real marks. Like going back, I'm like, damn, they were some marks. And they go back to what you said, it's all timing too, because Glow came out at a time, like I said, with the Me Too thing, but shit, they need to keep it going, not because it's just great story, but it helps motivate women, because obviously in the past couple months, in this insane year with everything happening shit, it seems like something new happens every damn day, let alone every week. We still had nasty ass Matt Riddle. Who else got called out this year? Not Joey. Is it Joey Jelena?
Joey Ryan.
Joey Ryan. That nasty son of a bitch.
That's the thing. Glow had a couple wrestlers on it. It had John Morrison, who you previously mentioned, because he's Taya Valkyrie's. He's Taya Valkyrie's husband. He was on the first episode. Alex Riley, Chavo, Brodus Clay, Carlito. I think Christopher Daniels and maybe Frankie Kazarian are in the scene prior to Joey Ryan versus Alex Riley. But yeah, they put a spotlight on, the big name indie stars at that time. Again, this is before AEW. This is right at the type of PWG, ROH are the big indies, and New Japan is where you would also see these guys impact a little bit with Joey Ryan. But yeah, and I think that Joey Ryan, again, he's on an episode of Glow, and this show's promoting women in wrestling in a positive light. And the allegations that came out this year, which again isn't surprising when you look at Joey Ryan's gimmick over the years, and especially his history of Candice LeRae and PWG, which always makes me think like, was it an act the whole time or what? It's just very suspicious in hindsight. Even though at the time it was like very like, all right, are you really doing this? But again, we saw like Excalibur said what he said, and he was the guy running it. So
Hey, listen, we ain't forget about you either, Jay Lethal. And I like Jay Lethal as far as the mat, but you know they kind of swept that shit under the ring, so to speak.
but yeah, with Ready to Rumble, I think I saw that freshman year. But I think I remember my dad watching it, and so like when I was probably like 5 or 6, I think I remember seeing clips. So then when I actually watched it from start to finish, I'm like, oh, this seems familiar, because I always remember being like, isn't there a movie where Goldberg's actually Goldberg in it? And what's funny is that Oliver Platt basically plays Jerry the King Lawler,
Yeah, just less nasty.
but who was never in WCW, right? Like, that's what's funny. Been like Joey Pantaleone is Eric Bischoff mixed with I don't know who, like a cowboy. Like,
Yeah, to a certain degree, he was like, from what we've been told, he a little bit more. His character is a little bit more of an asshole compared to Eric Bischoff. Like Eric Bischoff,
Eric Bischoff was an asshole the whole time. Well, I mean, I think he was a guy who was I think he was a little bitch boy, errand boy, who was like told what to do by Hogan and Nash and.
Yeah, that's all. That's what it really was. I don't know Eric Bischoff, but it seems like after the years, it's like okay, that's kind of what it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's not too much of him just kind of being like, "Well, I got power." It probably is that to a certain degree, but for the most part, it was kind of like he let Hogan, Nash, and all them basically run the booking. So
Yeah, and his version of power was that I'm going to go out and call Vince McMahon on national TV and challenge him to a fight. Like that's ever going to fucking happen. Like.
Well, before that, it's like, hey, I got Ted Turner's direct number. Let me get $1 million for this worker.
He's got Turner's number, his checkbook. Yeah, it was. I mean, and that's where, where again, AEW is really TNAEW and AEWCW. It's like that. That's what it should be called essentially, because it's a guy like Tony Khan, and who was, a fan of the wrestling industry. Eric Bischoff wasn't a fan, but like he just somehow waltzed into this industry. Yeah. Because of toys, and Tony Khan's a guy who's like who was a lifelong wrestling fan, but his dad owns the Jaguars and Fulham FC, so it's like, all right, are you qualified to run a wrestling company? And you put guys like that in charge, and they think they have the best ideas, and obviously they don't.
Well, they don't have a lot of older writers, which sometimes is a gift and a curse. And then they just don't have anybody that understands the idea of wrestling. Do I really have to cut a shoot promo on AEW right now?
No.
I could.
Ready to Rumble is that. That's what I saw when I was in my freshman year. So I was 14. But I think that was like the final thing that was like, oh, wrestling's fake. I think it took me a while to realize how fake wrestling was, and that they made a whole movie about it. It was like that and The Wrestler, because The Wrestler, I think I saw The Wrestler in the year apart. I'm like, oh, okay. This makes total sense now. I like how it's fake. Because growing up, you always hear it's fake, but you don't know how really, in terms of like, but why would you still let a guy hit you with a steel chair if you know what's coming type of deal. But I think seeing The Wrestler and Ready to Rumble is how like, oh, it's all predetermined and planned down. It's basically a movie is what it is. Yeah. It's a play. It's that. And Glow, that's what Alison Brie's character does. Like she's an actress. She's never wanted to be a wrestler. She doesn't know what wrestling is until she shows up to the audition, and like she becomes the best at it because she knows how to act.
Exactly. Nah, it's a great show overall. Yeah, I'm gonna actually finish season 2. Probably not this weekend because I got to see what games come on tomorrow besides the Lakers and Heat. But I'm gonna definitely tap in right now after we're done. So, but yeah. Overall, great show. I don't really have too much else to say about it. It's unfortunate because everybody needs work right now, not just the actors, the crew. Like I think people fail to realize that when something gets canned, it's fucking up the crew's money.
Yeah.
And a lot of those crew guys, they make a lot of money. Trust me. I did it a couple times before. I was doing that more so than anything in PA work. But the crew guys, they make butt, especially if you're one of the older guys that's been there for 20-some years, you good. You making – hell, I heard crew guys saying they paid off their mortgages doing that shit, but you working 16 through, I want to say 18 hours, sometimes more than that, a day, depending on how long the shoot goes. Because you there before they set up, then you got to tear it down, especially if they go into a different location. And I know exactly, the funny thing is, as far as the exterior shots, I know, or actually where they shot that at, yeah, the exterior shots, I know exactly where they shot Glow at.
Okay.
So that hotel, it's the same color. They probably touched it up a little bit. That hotel that they shot at for season 1 is in I want to say North Hollywood. It's North Hollywood borderline, San Fernando Valley. I know exactly how to get there. I forgot the street, but I know how to get there. So that hotel, when I seen the show first came out, I was like, damn. And this is when I was living in the valley. I'm like, damn, I'm only about 25, 30 minutes away from there. So for them to actually use that is pretty good. But it is an actual bandit hotel. I guess they just fixed it up for the show.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of that episode where they take Betty Gilpin's character to see an actual live wrestling show. If it's at the old Legion Hall in Reseda where PWG was held, I think it might be. I can't remember. Like, I haven't seen the first season in a while, but again, I think they were trying to pay homage to a lot of, wrestling around Hollywood, the Hollywood area, by having the wrestlers that are currently around. We're gonna, like we mentioned the list earlier, and this isn't like the first time Netflix has canceled a lot of shows, either like halfway through a season, or saying that they announced it and then they backed out on it. But last week they announced that Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, which is supposed to be coming out next year, I thought it was coming out this year. It's somehow getting an expanded universe before it's even come out, which is what I mean, that Netflix jumps the gun all the time on shit. Like, do you remember when they announced Bright 2 right after Bright aired, and it was like, we're never getting Bright 2 ever again.
Yeah. No, they keep saying they're gonna do Bright 2, but why? I like Bright 1, but there's no point of 2.
Oh, you actually like? Oh, wow.
I'm the only person that likes Bright.
Well, I would say
and it's probably because what's his name? David? It's not David Goyer, is it?
Oh, David Ayer.
There you go, David Ayer. Because he's from LA.
Yeah.
And I don't know what part of LA he's from, but it seems to be this man has spent parts in LA that either I don't stay in too long or I'm familiar with. I'm familiar with all of LA because I'm from there, but it's certain parts you don't go to if you black in LA. I'll just say that. But so he seems to go to parts that you're not supposed to go to if you black. But it's parts that we know you're not supposed to go to, which is the big subject matter. That's to which I'm saying. So I like the movie. That was one thing because I was familiar with those locations, and it was all right. I mean, with Will, it's been just the past couple movies. Like, I went back and watched Bad Boys for Life. I was like, all right, this is his best movie he's done in a year, but that's not saying a lot.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, I still don't like the disrespect that he had to deal with this year.
I mean,
nah, we can't do that with Will. Don't do that.
No, I'm
Look.
No, I'm saying, like, all right, if it came out, if he like let known who he was with this whole time, would that have been better?
No, because it's Chatty Patty if a man does it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And we already kind of know.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it's like, we're not going to talk about this just because I'm not going to start a war.
Yeah, because then we Chatty Patty, but you can do your Googles. I mean, he won. Like, listen. That man.
Did he win?
He did the movie with the girl. He did two movies actually with it.
See, that's what I mean. All right. So, like, because I don't think Jada Pinkett is winning. I've said that before in the Discord. Like, I don't see it. Maybe I get it because I'm too young and didn't see her in the 90s.
Boy, listen, hold on. You're gonna have to look at then with Shane, Low Down Dirty Shane, with Keenan Ivory Wayne. Listen, even before that, brother. Listen, it's the reason why I have a certain taste in women, in African women, and it's because of a different world. A different world. Ask Rock, ask anybody around my age. Chuck seemed to be around my age with these references. Ask them in the Discord. Shouts out to them. Shouts out to everybody in Discord. Ask them. That the different world had us like as kids, like, nah, this is, I don't know what's going on, but I know something's going on. And Jada was one of them. Because she still looked the same, brother.
But yeah, no, again, Will Smith did 2 movies with Margot Robbie, and I think that's what you're suggesting at is like, so again, like
Why the fuck is Ghost in this movie?
so you haven't seen, that's what I was about to, so you don't know anything about Army of the Dead is what I was about to ask.
I saw it for I think I saw a trailer and then it was just like earlier this year or something. And I just like, all right.
No, they've only released like a pick of the cast, and that thing is that Omari Hardwick is in it, Dave Bautista's in it, Chris D'Elia was in it until all the allegations came out, so they recasted his role.
Wait, who? I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Chris D'Elia, the comic who everyone found out.
Oh, that was trying to talk to them young girls.
Yeah,
get him out of here.
They did because he was originally in it, so they recasted his role.
That motherfucker be at the comedy. He used to be at the Comedy Store. That's how I knew something was going on. He used to be at the Comedy Store every fucking day. I used to pass by. I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to go every day. This is a year or two ago. I'm like, bro, is he hosting? Every day he at the Comedy Store.
I could always tell something was weird because he got a hand tattoo, like a wrist hand tattoo out of nowhere. Which, if you're over a certain age and you get a tattoo, I'm always gonna think something's up. Like this is how we should have known that. I mean, Hulk Hogan was an asshole because like he showed up in TNA with back tattoos, forearm tattoos. Again, Chris Jericho, he gets tattoos all of a sudden out of nowhere at 30-something years old. It's like after never having them. I mean, if you've never had them and all of a sudden get them when you're like 30 plus, I'm gonna like you like, what's going on here? Are you like
midlife crisis? Hey, don't say nothing because I might get some, but still, you here. I don't know if this is shoot or what, or you got your third eye open right now.
Maybe it's a thing that only applies to white guys, then I'll say. Maybe I'll just go far and say, like, if you're a white guy over 30 getting your first tattoo. No, that's because Finn Balor did, and Finn Balor's dope. So.
He got a tattoo?
He's got multiple tattoos now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Or I just didn't notice.
We'll
talk about.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, we'll talk about Finn Balor later. Yeah, but I just real quick, he got them all within like the last year and a half, I'd say.
Okay, I got some more movie news if you want to talk about that as well, because I was looking up the whole zombie apocalypse thing.
Yeah,
if
so
you want to talk about this real quick. So
yeah,
you're familiar with David O. Russell, right?
Yes.
Okay, so shouts out to him because he getting work. So John David Washington is doing a movie with Christian Bale and Margaret Robbie, who we just talked about.
Nice.
You see how the universe connected?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking life is the multiverse. I'm telling you. They called us madmen. I'm telling you. But no, I really wanted to talk about how stressed out John David Washington is going to be. If anybody that's watching, if you know the stories of David O. Russell and how he works.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then Christian Bale, that man John David's going to be like, he going to call Pops like, I can't do this. Pops going to be like, you go to work.
Nah,
that's what you do, son.
The thing about John David Washington is that he just seems cool. Like if you see him in interviews and stuff, or like if you've heard him talk, like he just seems like a cool guy. Like in like this acting thing,
seems cool.
Like this acting for him was like the wrestling with Rock. It was like a fallback. Like they both didn't pan out playing football professionally in the NFL, so they went into a family trade and it worked out for them.
Yeah, I mean, if your pops is Denzel, you're gonna be cool too. I think it's genetic coding, bro.
No, and that's what I mean with Dwayne Johnson's that like his dad was Rocky Johnson, and look at what Rocky Johnson was back in the day, and then look at The Rock as soon as he becomes The Rock. It's like, oh yeah, no shit. Like it's genetics and yeah, but Army of the Dead. It's a heist movie during a zombie apocalypse, which is like the most. Again, I'm a Zack Snyder fan. I'll say that.
Okay, go ahead. Then I'll tell you about how my third eye has been opening up about Zack Snyder.
I know that he's one. I think he's a good filmmaker. He's a bad storyteller. Like he's good at visual. He's good at visuals and all that, and that's why I like him. Is that he's into like the visual aspect of filmmaking, but the story part is like, yeah, he doesn't know how to write anything or like, yeah, plot, characters. It's just what looks cool. And this is his first movie since Justice League, which is very interesting. Like, he got kicked off of that for there's multiple stories. Again, you can look those up. It's, he had a tragic passing in his family, but then also he was fired because they wanted to go in a different direction as well. But
a direction that didn't fucking work because they got Kevin Feige, or however you say his fucking last name.
Joss Whedon, not Kevin Feige.
All right, whoever. Fuck. I'm sorry, I'm getting all the white guys mixed up. I'm sorry.
Balding white guys.
All of look, most of them look the same except for you. All right, and Brock Lesnar. That's it. All right, y'all the only white dudes I can tell apart. But yeah, so with Josh Whedon, that's because they wanted to go with him to try to compete with the Avengers movies because he directed the Avenger 1. The first Avengers, I should say.
He directed the Avengers and Age of Ultron.
Okay, yeah. See, he went the Age of Ultron route in that instance because
Definitely,
bruh, Age of Ultron is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
See, in Age of Ultron and Justice League are very similar in the aspect of like there are movies that were pitched as being darker, but then when you watch them, it's like, oh, this is the exact opposite, really. Like I thought Age of Ultron was going to be like, oh shit, the Avengers get their ass kicked, basically like what Infinity War is. I thought that was going to be Age of Ultron, but then when you watch it, it's like, nope, it's Joss Whedon being like quips, like, hey, funny lines at each other. Still, it's like that's cool, but like this movie made it seem like it was going to be, oh, like the Avengers can't beat this robot. And Justice League had it seem like, oh, like the world's coming to an end and only these people can save it. But like, nope, it's bad. It's just bad. That's. I'm not going to spend too much time on Justice League, except that the girl I was with at the time, who I took to see it, she fell asleep like 40 minutes in. So.
Yeah, I mean he's directing the Snyder cut. Nobody needs to tell me, this is basically this is a DLC movie. Like nobody gonna sit up here and tell me like, okay, it's a Snyder cut, it's old footage. Ain't no fucking way he's just gonna put out a 4-hour movie combined. It's gonna be set in increments of an hour, like a mini series. Ain't nobody gonna tell me that much footage was cut. They just said they doing reshoots, I think, as well.
And they weren't before. Before when they announced the Snyder Cut, they said that it was going to be the unused footage and that there would be no reshoots. But then they're saying that they are doing reshoots. So it's like, what are like?
That's a smoke screen. Like, where the fuck you get 4 hours of footage from?
I believe there is because if you watch like, again, the clips that we've seen, I believe that I don't think there's 4 hours worth, and especially the stuff that's usable. Because they always say there's like always a ton of footage, but it's like how much you can use is what it really.
But that's a year's worth of work. Like usually with these DC movies, it'll be like 4 or 6 months top that they do principal photography. No, they shot that movie like in 3-4 months. Where you get 4 hours of footage from? Just say it's DLC. Like that's a new concept. It's just like the whole thing of and we'll get to it about Tenet. It's like, dude, just say that we shoot more footage. You basically saying we adding 2.5 to movies, like that's fire. That's a good concept. What's the problem with that? You add DLC to movies. Like, let's say somebody want to go back and do fucking 300. Like, all right, they did another 300 after that. I forgot the name of it.
Rise of an Empire, I believe.
Yeah, the prequel. Nobody saw that shit. But let's say if they want to do.
I thought.
You said what?
I think it's a sequel right after they die.
I thought it was a prequel.
No, I think it's a sequel.
I didn't see that shit though. I did not mess with it.
I just know Ava Green's in it.
Yeah, look, it's in post-production right now.
What is?
The Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
And they just calling it the Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it's a TV miniseries. And they like episode 1 through 4. Yeah, they basically did a DLC. That's fine. Like, just say that. Just say like, you know what? Let's just go back and start doing like added on scenes to movies. That sounds like a dope ass idea. You could just basically put it on HBO Max, put it wherever else, and charge people for it.
Well, that was the whole point of DVDs when it first started, right? Was that there was extended cuts, director's cuts, shit like that, and that hasn't really gone on, I'd say, in the digital era. I mean, the only one I can remember was the Mad Max black and white version, which I haven't seen, but that they made it's like black and chrome or whatever. But that's a cool concept of like, imagine this movie that's so colorful and is like it's just black and white in an old school way. Like I'd still want to see it. I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, they don't do stuff like that anymore because of streaming, and you watch everything, and I think that's wise because it's like that was a way to sell DVDs, and no one's going to buy DVDs now with like this many different versions of it, and like maybe that will be the thing going forward at the Snyder Cut work is that, hey, yeah, like would you like to see a longer, like would you like to see the version of the Rise of Skywalker that didn't suck?
All the versions suck. I'm pretty sure they don't have no. They probably have some footage left over, but
No,
for the most part,
everything in that movie was one take.
dude, it got to be how shitty it was. I got to be honest though. 7 through 9, nah, bro. They could have kept that. We
Seven,
really didn't need that Disney.
seven is
7 through 9.
no,
7 through 9.
no.
We didn't need none of that.
I like seven. I like The Force Awakens a lot.
That was the worst movie experience I ever had.
Why? What happened?
Fucking fanboys and girls going crazy.
Oh, okay. You just mean from that.
Like, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, we gotta stop these double standards, but we live in America. I've been to horrible movie theaters in the hood, all right? It wasn't no talking, none of that shit. I went to fucking Universal. Don't ever go to that one either, ever. The Universal AMC, don't go to that motherfucker with like a new blockbusters coming out, because it be kids in there talking, motherfuckers be on the phone, all that shit. So I went. It's already crowded like 30 minutes, even though we had our tickets, it's 30 minutes before the movie starts. Motherfuckers is in there going crazy, bro. Mm-hmm. Star Wars fans are different, by the way. Like, I don't know which marks are worse. Yeah, no, I don't know. Wrestling marks might not be as bad as Star Wars marks.
Yeah.
Because Star Wars marks, like, bro, these are movies. They think it's Star Trek, which is a better concept, and that it's a TV show. Yeah, I fuck with Star Trek, but
no, I was about to say is that. Well, I think the term fanboys was created after Star Wars, right?
Probably so. It's the reason why George Lucas been looking like that for decades. He's like, man, I'm so tired of these motherfuckers. I just can't wait.
Looking like that for the frog. You know, we got.
But look, if he wanted to, he could have sold that shit in the early 2000s, where it built enough equity. That's after the second movie.
That's what's so funny about that. Is like that movie was constantly making money, and then he was like, you know what? I'm gonna make more, so I can make more money, and then I'm gonna sell it. Like genius.
That's called hustling.
Yeah,
that's called hustling.
And he was like, and these ones, like Patton Oswalt has a good stand-up bit about the prequels, where he's like, George Lucas all of a sudden was like, I want to make more Star Wars movies, and everyone's like, yeah, and he's like, but they're gonna be about. So you like Darth Vader, right? Everyone's like, yeah, like. How about when he was a kid? And it's like, that was George Lucas's idea, is like, Obi-Wan Kenobi. What if he's a young man? Like, it was just, he didn't put as much effort into it, obviously, but again, he did all himself, was the unfortunate part. He wrote and directed all three, where he only played that part in the first one. And everyone else, and other people took over, kind of.
All money in, no money out. RIP to Nipsey. That's how you do it. Like, he knew what he was doing. Of course, he could have got anybody to help him out with it, or his old team if they were alive at that point. I don't know who his old writers are or whatever, or his old directors.
Yeah, the biggest one was Lawrence Kasdan.
Yeah, he could have hit them up and be like, you know what? Hey, come through. We're going to split the bag and do this. Nah, he had an idea. He like, you know what? At this point, it's been about 20-some years. I'm so tired of these motherfuckers. I can't even go to the grocery store without these motherfuckers asking me a question about, so is Tatooine like closer to whatever fucking planet? He probably like, bruh, all right, this one I'm going to do. Let me go ahead and get this bag for these other three, from episode 1 through 3. Eventually, somebody going to hit me up. Hell, he probably spoken into existence. Like, eventually, Disney is going to hit me up.
I think they've been for a while, yeah.
Because how much did they buy for, like, $3.5 billion?
Oh, it was definitely billions.
He was like, the thing is, he probably looking at that motherfucker like, I need 7. 3. All right, for sure. He was like, I need 7 for it. Disney was like, we'll give you 3. Fuck it. You drive a hard bargain. Bet.
At the end of the day, he still has like Indiana and because they bought Lucasfilm in general, not just Star Wars. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they just bought Lucas, not just a Star Wars franchise. The Star Wars franchise was like, yeah, we need that individual, because like maybe that's the reason why it's taking so long for Indiana Jones to come out, because it's like, yeah, that's money. That $1 billion. I think all 3 movies combined, even that horrible Crystal Skulls.
Yeah.
Made about the 4 movies. 4 movies, including that horrible Crystal Skulls, probably equated to about, we could look it up, but I'm gonna take a guess. 3 billion, 4 billion, maybe more than that.
As much as he sold it for, yeah.
But they was like, we could wait on that. But these Star Wars movies, no, we gotta get this crap ASAP.
Yeah, because the toys, the games, the fucking theme park they have now, yeah.
That's where it made most of its money from. The Star Wars franchise is from merchandise.
No, he that was the deal he signed. Is like he said he would take no money from like the movie, but he wanted all the merchandising rights, and they were like, "You fucking idiot!" And then like look at it.
I mean, because the merch been moving.
And
The
that,
merch moves every day.
yeah, and that was like the funny thing, and to credit to wrestling is that when Bret Hart signed that contract before Montreal happened, is like he got creative control of the character to do like whatever he wanted with his character, and then that's what screwed that, and ultimately what screwed him out is because Vince McMahon like brought him that contract, and Bret Hart's like, "Fuck, this is genius! Like, you're really gonna give this to me? Like, you can take everything, but like, I'll take the 20 million, and then like, yeah, you can't do anything without my input." It's like people sign bad deals, but people also sign great deals sometimes.
Hey man, listen.
360 deals are like all the rage now in today's world, but sometimes people be finessing the people making the deals.
Listen, Vince McMahon is the creator. Fuck Def Jam. Vince McMahon is the creator of the 360 deal. You seeing it now too. You can't twitch, bro. They getting money to give to charity for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
They get their money from Cameo. Like the Twitch shit is really for like to give to charity.
And it's like, what do you like? It's these people playing video games. What are you bitching about? Like,
Because Vince McMahon don't know what a video game
well,
is.
I know, but like they're playing video games as AJ Styles, and he's like, AJ Styles won't play video games. Like, have you seen the motherfucker? Like, that's all
He's
he
trash. Let him get off. He need to take that money for himself. Because AJ be playing. I'm like, bro, you trash, bro. He be playing motherfucking. I feel like he played, and I haven't seen other than I think he played Call of Duty. I know I've seen him play one of these shooters.
Like he played that sniper game, the sniper elite.
Oh no, I know he good at that. He a redneck. That motherfucker probably be headshots all day. Nah, I don't even need to see that. I'm gonna look it up, but I know he cold on that. Why he let his son wear that shirt though is beyond me.
Let's not get into that again. Let's not get.
Like, I understand you a Christian, man. Shouts out to all that. But, bro, your son didn't have to wear that shirt.
We've seen this man in public wear leather bracelets with a cross on them. Of course, this son's got to wear that shirt.
Oh, that's like the old school. We going to Walmart trip bracelet. If you ever, well, you in the South. So these motherfuckers be having those on.
Go for it.
With the Wrangler jeans on. And they got a shirt like me. It'd be cut off with the sleeves. The motherfuckers going straight to Walmart trip with a John Deere hat. I've been thinking about getting one of those hats, but I'm like, I don't know. That's kind of problematic.
You're close to Clayton Bigsby levels if you're doing that.
The John Deere hat. So what's that other one? Oh, Bass Pro Sports.
Bass Pro Shops. And
yeah, I've been thinking about getting one of them hats.
You're gonna start dressing like Shawn Michaels, is what you're saying.
Hey, I might fuck around and get hit in the eye.
But yeah, real quick, back to the Zack Snyder army. Yeah, so it's this, it's supposed to be like his comeback in a way. But again, Netflix is releasing it next year. But last week they said that they're making a prequel to it, and the guy directing it is an actor in the movie, and that they're spinning it off also into an animated show, which has like an all-star cast of like Joe Manganiello, Christian Slater, and a couple other people. But it's like, so Netflix just canceled all these shows and are making a whole universe about this movie that hasn't even come out yet. And that's where it's like, Netflix, what are you doing? Like, I think they do a horrible job with original content most of the time.
I think Netflix and Zack Snyder probably had a cocaine party. It was like, what you want to do with this, bro? Yeah, I want to do an animated show. Yeah, what else you want to do? I want the prequel. Yeah, for sure. We give you all that. You take this. Bruh, I'm reading the description. How the fuck do I get anything out of this? Like, how do I get – first of all, this should be an hour and a half tops. This is a concept.
It's going to be like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Knowing him, it might be fucking 3 hours. Like, bruh, I love Watchmen. There's no point in me, the YT version of Watchmen. No offense. The movie is the YT version.
You're right, though, yeah.
And that shit – I think that one is less dark than the TV show, to be honest.
Oh, no, it totally is, yeah.
And that's what's so scary about it, because I'm like, I love the TV. I love the TV show. I love Regina King. I've loved Regina King forever. Mm-hmm. But the TV show, I'm like, damn, this shit darker than the movie.
Definitely, yeah. And the movie...
But look, Zach was probably pissed about that. He like, man, I could have did this TV show. You know him. He like, I could have made this shit darker. How? They'll never see it coming, and he gonna get canceled.
he would have been like, "What, Oklahoma? Like, what happened in Oklahoma?" He's like, "No, it didn't." It'd be like,
They had Nick. I mean, they had Black Wall Street, African American. They had colored Wall Street.
he was just probably more pissed about not being able to do the giant squid.
Dog. Oh, that shit was wild. I forgot about that. I've been meaning to run back that show too.
Because he said that about yeah, no, I need to rewatch Watchmen as well. Fuck, that show is so good. Yeah, we'll have to do
that shit was trippy as fuck.
like we'll end up doing like a movie, maybe also a TV kind of club where we'll recommend stuff. We'll recommend each other stuff we haven't seen and recommend stuff for people listening and stuff.
Trust me, the list I give you of things I haven't seen, you're gonna be like, God damn, I got my list, man. Like I said, if it ain't sports, I just kind of like Cobra Kai.
No, I like that's thing. I'll watch like fucking. What am I watching right now? Oh, go ahead.
This is why, like, I want to get back in the acting game, but then at the same time, how I am now, I wouldn't give a fuck about certain things I would say, because if I'm on the show with Ghost, I'm calling you Ghost for many reasons. He gonna be pissed off, and
He calls
if
himself.
you ever see his goofy ass poetic post where it sounds like he got CTE, he probably be pissed off.
Doesn't he call himself Ghost essentially? Like, isn't that the joke that shout out to Fam at Black Wrestling? He said that he like this man can't realize that he's
Drop
not.
kayfabe.
He's living the gimmick now. It's like it was too real.
Hey, I think the neighbors think I'm really Ghost, but mother, what he said, but mother sucker, I am, or some shit like that.
And that man had the nerve to call Chadwick Boseman a rival. Like, Chadwick Boseman was Michael Jordan, and you were LeBradford Smith. Like, come on.
Hey, listen. That's why I'm like, all right, bro, you a goofy. You a goofy for your post about you saying thank God for interracial dating. Look, I don't have no problem essentially with racial dating. I have a problem when y'all try to make it bigger than what it is. Motherfucker, just say I like fucking with somebody else. Just say that and just leave it alone. You ain't got to tell everybody, oh, I started fucking with this white girl just because I felt like we were connected and because I never connected with a black woman. If you just shut the fuck up and do it, nobody else will care. It's been guys that fuck with white women and they just shut the fuck up.
And those are the people that are specify like, oh, is your husband coming? Is my black husband coming? Like, they do shit like that. Like,
yeah, like, bitch, no, we don't care. Just ask the motherfucker, what you want us to have? Some goddamn cranberry sauce? Like, in chitlins? I don't know.
That's the shit that Jordan Grace probably does.
It's like, bro, it's like, all right, but that was goofy in him. That's why I'm calling him Ghost forever.
Yeah.
And because he got bodied. How you get bodied, bro, on your own show? And we got to have a bad spinoff. And then the thing, the shit that was the nail in the coffin was the Chadwick Boseman. It's like, bro, this man just died.
Yeah,
and you got to be a capper.
When he said that, I was like that's Scotty. Like, as you kind of were pissed about Scottie Pippen, like saying,
man, fuck Scottie Pippen,
saying all this shit now. It's like, what are you saying this for? And like Omar Hardwick saying this now is like, you guys weren't even on the same level. Like, this guy was playing Jackie Robinson, James Brown. You were playing Ghost. This man. Like, that was it. Like,
with the same tone. Every time this motherfucker get on scene, he get frustrated. What you mean? That's all he would do. He would just start getting Tourette's every time. Tasha, I'm trying to do what's for us. Like, bro, that's the only time he tried to show emotion. Otherwise, Nat, he always got this plain look on his face.
I think I only saw the first 3-4 seasons. I saw the season of the last.
You've seen enough. You've seen enough.
That's what I'm going to say.
That's cool.
I watched everything until he goes to prison season, and I only really watched it because Tommy. Like, I like Tommy's probably my favorite character on TV.
Because you are Tommy Egan. That's why. That's your new nickname, Davis Egan. Oh, nah. Hey, low key, what if I wasn't a coon, what if we called this show fucking Ghost and Tommy, or Ghost Banks and Tommy and Colton or some shit like that?
Davis Egan, Ghost Banks. Okay, see, that's all right. Real quick on Power. What kind of black man has the name James St. Patrick? What kind of
It's very doable.
Is it?
Yeah, because St. Patrick is probably the name he didn't choose. The last name.
That's what I'm saying. The woman who created that show, I think, is horrible at her. I think she's a horrible writer.
Oh, but the funny thing is, she's a black woman. Courtney
Kemp. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd rather do that than she give him like fucking Williams or something like that. I mean,
True.
it just
But then like, there's a joke about it in like that first or second episode where like a woman's like James St. Patrick, and like I expect it to be a fat Irish guy. And he's like, nope, it's me. It's like, then like you're calling attention to how bad of a name this is for your character, really. Like,
well, brother, we didn't get to choose our names, huh? Who fault is that? Should I have the last name Banks? I don't know my original name. Thank you, Davis.
okay, all right.
Uh-huh.
You act like I played a factor in that.
I know you didn't. How I know you didn't travel back in time and set all this up.
Oh, whoa. If I ever went back in time, I'm stopping shit. I'm not doing.
I'm stopping shit.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that Zack Snyder movie, and it'll be 2021, and that'll give us our next segue to the movies we're looking forward to in 2021.
Are they actually doing time travel in this Army of Dead universe?
No.
Okay, because I was about to say, since you said you was traveling back in time, I was about to say.
I'm saying like it's being released in 2021, and here are now the movies that are supposed to be released in 2021. Our favorite.
Goddamn.
Our favorite Dune, it was announced earlier this week that it got pushed all the way till next October, which fucking sucks.
I mean, let's be honest. Once again, it's that whole prideful thing I was talking to my boy about, because you could easily put all this shit on stream, bro, and make your money. Like, bro, I don't think people want to risk their lives to go to a movie theater until a vaccine is out.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
How y'all know a vaccine gonna come out? What if Trump repeat? How y'all know the vaccine gonna come out?
Exactly.
Then you just gonna be like, damn, we got movies coming out October 2021. Guess what? We still in the crib. We're supposed to be in the crib. You dumbass, you lost your money. Just put it on stream.
And that's, you and I already talked about this, with Tenet, is that I told you I've wanted to go see Tenet. It's playing at my local theater. I told a girl the other night that I'm like thinking about seeing it, and it's like, and she's like, what else is out right now? I'm like, there's nothing else right now, but I want to see that
at all.
Because we were over here watching a movie. It's like, but if there was a new movie to stream, we'd like a shit ton of people would do that more. And again, I'd see the studio's stance and the industry as a whole is piracy. Obviously, if they put all these movies up, it'll be easier for them to be ripped for open loads and put lockers and whatever else there is. But
they don't understand that shit gonna happen regardless.
That's what I was about to say. Is that happens depending on what country it's released in as well. It gets down there sooner in a better quality.
In China, because that's how I was able to see 5 minutes of Tenet. That motherfucker had Chinese or Mandarin subtitles.
Yeah, but it's like subtitles. Like, but if it's good quality, I'll watch it. If it's got subtitles, like, because I'm not going to be able to read it. It's in a different language, so it's not going to distract me.
Yeah, the Tenet rip that I saw, it was trash. So I said, nah, I'll just wait and see what happens.
Yeah,
we should get it like on actual 4K within a month. Like, all this could have been avoided, but all right.
Yeah, so Dune has been pushed back. No Time to Die has been pushed back.
The Suicide completed. Like, yo, it was supposed to come out next month.
That's what
completed.
Well, yeah, No Time to Die was supposed to go out back in April or May.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, and I was looking forward to that. Like, I mean, even though the last Bond movie wasn't that good, I was still looking forward to this one. They got Cary Fukunaga directing it.
Yep.
And he directed the first and only good season of True Detective. He directed Maniac.
Thank you.
Oh, I haven't seen the third season, but the second season's awful of True Detective.
Yeah, I haven't seen the third one yet, but that first one was fire.
Yeah. And he directed Maniac, which is again, speaking about Netflix shows, Maniac's a very underrated Netflix original show with Jonah Hill and Emma Stone.
Oh, yeah, I heard of that. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to ever tap in, but I've heard of it.
I'd say you should. That'll be one of the recommendations I give to you, is that you should check out Maniac.
Emma Stone freaks me out, though.
Oh, don't say it. We're gonna have to throw hands if that's the case.
I'll talk to you off air as to why. I'm telling you from personal experience, she freaks me out.
Oh shit! Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad, it was already supposed to be released, and we only know a little bit about it. But again, the big thing is that it's got James Gunn involved and that John Cena's in it.
Right.
Shout out to the GOAT. Black Widow, which again was supposed to come out back in April or May, and has been pushed all the way back till next year. Are you still looking forward to the Black Widow movie as a whole, or no?
I never was.
Never were? Okay.
I never was. I'm done. Look, after Endgame, it was like, all right, I don't really need to check for anything else from the Marvel universe. Like, I watched Far From Home. I was like, all right, this is straight, but I'm good. Like, hey, man, listen, in my morbid mindset, all the motherfuckers should have died, except for Black Panther.
Such a DC fan. Such a DC.
Yeah, that's true, too. So there you go. And that's,
This motherfucker's watching Shazam multiple times.
Hey, that shit was fire, bro. That caught me off guard.
I haven't seen Shazam, so.
Nah, you need to tap in. That shit was fire. I went there first day not expecting anything because DC has let me down so often. I watched that shit. I'm like, oh, this is Fugo.
See, that's what happened with Aquaman. Is that so? After Justice League, I was like, I'm not gonna fucking watch Aquaman, and then I rented it, and I'm like, oh shit, this movie's really good. Like, I was actually surprised by how good it was.
Yeah, we supposed to get the sequel, but God bless 2023 if we hear. That's when it was supposed to come out.
Godzilla versus Kong was already
That's the one I'm more pissed about.
Really, you're looking forward to that?
Yeah, I'm a Godzilla fan, like super fanatic.
See, I haven't seen King of Monsters.
Ah, bro, what's going on?
It didn't.
I went to the movies. I was turned. I started standing up.
It didn't look good to me.
Nah, you need to go ahead and watch that, champ.
And I don't like Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things. I hate Stranger Things, and I'm just like, she's the star of this movie. We don't need a Godzilla King Kong. We don't need a Godzilla movie where like she's the star. Like the star of the movie is Godzilla.
Listen,
I did like the first one with that Gareth Edwards did. I did like that one's okay.
You're just being disrespectful right now because Stranger Things is one of the greatest shows ever.
No, oh my god,
bro, that's easy. If we're gonna put it in a Netflix category, that's easy top 2, and it ain't 2 Netflix show ever made. Stranger Things is fire, bro. From season 1 till now.
We'll have a Stranger Things debate another time. We'll have a whole episode focused around me being very anti Stranger Things and you being.
She wasn't even the best part. I know what you mean, but nah.
Oh, everyone on that show I don't like pretty much. Yeah, except the only one I like is Steve Harrington. Shout out to him.
You hating, bro.
Venom, Let There Be Carnage, I think was supposed to.
It should have never been made. Yeah. Well, the only reason why I was kind of like looking forward to it is because Andy Serkis was actually directing.
Yeah.
Who was supposed to be playing Alfred, but you know.
Well, let's save on. Let's save that for later. Let's not go to there. But yeah, Andy Serkis directing is still a weird choice to me. Again, Woody Harrelson's playing Carnage, another weird choice.
No, he looks like Carnage.
But again, Fast 9, which we talked about last week when we talked about Tyrese and how and we actually had a brief a pretty good convo about what the Fast and Furious franchise means. But again, we'll say that for a whole episode one day as well.
That man want that movie to come out so bad.
Definitely, we already talked about that last week. Go listen to last week's episode. It's called Scientology.
It's still funny though.
Halloween Kills, that was also supposed to come out this year.
Why?
I haven't seen the recent one.
It's no point. It's no point in none of that shit. That's what I hate. How Hollywood keep on recycling these horror movies and bringing back these old fuckers. Like, this motherfucker was supposed to die 20, 30 years ago. Bitch, you didn't get the mission done. Maybe you should just move, all right? Like, you can't kill this motherfucker. You should have learned your lesson 20, 30 years ago, Jamie Lee Curtis. You did the switch with Lindsay Lohan. You shouldn't have switched over to somewhere else. Get the fuck out that state so he can stop following. Your brother can stop following you. That's a spoiler if anybody hasn't seen those movies.
No, I think everyone knows that. I think everyone knows that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 30-some-year-old movies.
Because the tagline was that this Halloween, Michael Myers came home. And it was like, yeah, to kill his sister. Like,
because the bitch won't move.
You think that's a hidden subtext of the movies that she just needs to move?
Yeah, bitch. He walked. It take him 10 minutes just to get the goddamn out the door. I'm pretty sure if you just move if you move 30 miles away, I think the motherfucker won't catch you.
We got The Matrix 4, which you pitched is secretly connected to the John Wick universe.
All right. We bookmarked that for all the listeners last week episode. I want you to listen to it and know what I said. And I want y'all to tell me 20 years ago during the 2 years from now, during the zombie apocalypse or when we actually living in Dune, like if Trump repeats, all this shit gonna happen. But just when we at some movie theater in like an underground bunker, just remember what I said.
Yeah, I still can't believe you. Like I said, I wouldn't be too disappointed if like the John Wick universe was just a Matrix stream because that would actually make sense. Like
I'm telling you.
creatively, that actually would. And
I
shout
promise you, if that happens, I'm going into filmmaking as far as a writer.
Yeah. Hey, I got some ideas too. We can all share them with you later. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
The Eternals, which it only just got pushed back further. It wasn't supposed to come out this year, but it got pushed back from its original start date. Kind of looking forward to that, even though, again, the Eternals were like the Guardians, like no one knows anything about them really. Super obscure comics, but it's got a great all-star cast. And it's Marvel. Yeah. And again, since you're in the bag for DC, I'm in the bag for Marvel. So Marvel can never fail, really, in my...
No, I'm just a comic guy overall. I just love DC. So I'm familiar with the Eternals. Like I try to tell people I'm a nerd. Like I be knowing shit. It's just the Eternals are basically the creators of the universe or the whole Marvel universe, so to speak.
Yeah,
they were here before.
Every time like a new thing, I look it up online just to, like familiarize myself with it. Because I mean, I was more of a cartoon superhero fan than the comics. So that's kind of what I knew about superheroes. But yeah, the Eternals I've known nothing about. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is gonna like. I'm just like, how are they gonna do this? Because it seems like a really high concept thing to explain, like how Thanos was with death, but they left the death part out of it for Infinity War and Endgame and all that. But West Side Story, don't care about. Steven Spielberg at this point is just doing shit.
Doing whatever. Hey man, that man has the keys to Hollywood, and he had them for about 40 years now. Like he had the keys for a very long time.
And I liked Ready Player One, but it was just it's like at this point he's doing whatever the hell he wants, whenever.
It's been that way forever. It's shit.
Oh yeah.
It's been that way since fucking The Color Purple. Like that should tell you everything.
No, but I mean in terms of like West Side Story, really, and it's like it's not even a modern adaptation. It's like they're still making it in the time that it was originally came out in the 50s. It's like there's not much you can do. I mean, I'm not interested in it. So yeah, French Dispatch. I'm not a Wes Anderson person really. Ghostbusters. I'm not looking forward to
Why?
this. I'm not looking forward to this Ghostbusters movie.
It shouldn't exist.
Even though I love Paul Rudd, I'm not looking forward to it.
It shouldn't exist.
I agree. And it's only existed because Jason Reitman is the son of Ivan Reitman. And Jason Reitman makes a shit ton of movies that never make any money. Like he's just a very indie filmmaker and it somehow got this big Hollywood blockbuster because his dad directed the first two.
That's how it works. I don't have a problem with that.
We talk about nepotism in WWE with Dominic and Ray, but like this is a worse version of that. Like,
yeah, no, Hollywood has been that way for years. I mean, Michael Douglas Pops is a nasty man. So
I was just watching Basic Instinct earlier. That's one of my favorite movies. So shout out Michael Douglas.
Yeah, just don't shout out his pops.
Oh, I don't know that this M. Night Shyamalan movie. I'm not really checking for.
Hey, hold on 1 second. Hold on. I'm sick of this shit with M. Night Shyamalan or Shyamalan. I'm so sick of this shit. Bruh, every movie don't have to be woke, bro. Every single movie always kept under wraps. Okay, we know it's going to be some fucked up plot twist. And I like Glass. But let's talk about the movies before that kept flopping. And he was under that spotlight.
Did you like Glass or did you like Split?
No, I like Split too. That was straight. I like Glass even better though.
I haven't seen Glass. I heard it was like if you're like I heard it was disappointing after Unbreakable and Split. Like what a drop off it was after Split.
Now that plot twist at Split was fire though. At the end,
yeah. But no, I was again Split. Just like Aquaman was one movie I skipped because I'm like okay. And again, it was M. Night Shyamalan who like wore out his. It's that there's a twist, gimmick. But then I watched Split on like HBO and I'm like, oh, this is actually really well made and like a really good movie. And it was like, but then again, Glass was released a few years later. And it's like, it reverted right back to the M. Night that he was prior to Split and, with the flops and the happening and all that. The Kingsman, which was supposed to come out already. And I'm a fan of the Kingsman franchise. So I'm definitely upset that this has been postponed even further.
Same. I'm looking forward to that one.
So you like the Kingsman as well?
Yeah, I love those two movies.
Thank you, because I think I'm one of the few. I mean, in terms of like not the minority, but like, I think it's very under. Even though there's only 2 movies, I think it's an underappreciated franchise. And I like Matthew Vaughn. He's one of my favorite filmmakers. I think no one shoots action better than him in movies. But
Debatable. I can't think of any names right now, so I shouldn't say debatable. But
well, I mean,
you know,
there's James Wan is close. I mean, he did the action in Furious 7 is probably the best action in any Fast and the Furious movie. And then James Wan, again, he did Aquaman as well, and the action in that is the best in I think any superhero movie as well. In terms of of direction and camera movement and how the fight sequences actually like you get to see play out. There's not too many cuts.
man, Michael Bay would cuss you out with everything you say.
That's because Michael Bay fucking is like cut, like let's get 700 cut, like he's letting fucking Wiseman with how many cuts he got.
In real time, bro. Doing that movie with him, if he was directing those Kingsman movies, god damn.
Oh, well, one he wanted because they're British and he only likes America, so
Yeah, it's wild that he got started shooting Victoria's Secret ads and shit.
And you know what, real quick, because we're talking about Michael Bay, who went to college with Zack Snyder. Funny thing, and they're both like supposedly these art kids who are like macho jerks at the same time, which is like weird. Because like speaking of West Side Story, we just talked about that was like one of Michael Bay's favorite movies, but they said it was because of how it was edited and like how it cuts from scene to scene.
Yeah,
And Zack Snyder's, really like he was a son, like his mother was a painter and something. So like he draws and like he's storyboard most of the movies he's done himself, which is like these like 2 filmmakers who like in like 300 and Pearl Harbor, Armageddon, and like are these macho guys who are like went to Wesleyan and were these art kids in college. But we were just talking about Michael Bay, so I had to bring that up.
yeah, they don't seem like art kids, which is crazy.
So apparently, there's a modern Cinderella movie coming. I had no idea this was happening, but okay.
That's shouts out to Billy Porter for being there. I'm interested to see that name in that movie. That might be different.
I'm looking forward to the Mortal Kombat movie, even though nothing about it has been released really.
That's the thing. I'm looking at it. I'm like, what post? They shot that?
The cast. It looks like it's a really good cast. Again, it's appropriately cast. There's not a lot of white facing. Even though the original wasn't. I mean,
you want me to speak on it since I saw those like when they first came out. I went to the theaters to see those.
So the dun, 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 that's what the theme of the show should be, the Mortal Kombat theme.
You're gonna get us sued, but you right. New Line gonna sue the shit out of us.
New Line doesn't exist anymore, I think.
I think they actually exist. They just got bought under somebody else. Because Columbia used to own them, but I could look it up.
But yeah, this Mortal Kombat, it's James Wan, again, is producing it. If he would be directing it, I'd say expect this movie to be a huge hit. But he's only producing it. Again, it's got a cast of people that are like, oh, those people, like, they're not stars, but they're recognizable. The main thing I think I'm trying to I think Louis Tan, who was who was famous for auditioning for Iron Fist, but not getting it, even though he ended up playing a role in like 1 episode. I think he's playing Johnny Cage, even though they haven't announced it, but I think just based off of that, like it seems like that'd be the smart choice since like the Iron Fist thing didn't work out because everyone was like Iron Fist should be Asian realistically, which like makes sense. That shouldn't be the guy from Game of Thrones. He was horrible.
Yeah, he's definitely playing Johnny Cage because they don't have any character names next to him. He's actually looking it up right now. He's actually half Chinese, half English. So
that's what I think he's playing. I think the twist is I think Johnny Cage will be a MMA fighter instead of an actor as well.
So he'll be okay. I guess. I mean, if you can make it work that way, yeah. But we know Johnny Cage as an actor, and then this motherfucker just thought the fights were in kayfabe. Like, no, this is real life.
Yeah, there's this clip right here, like where knocked. So maybe it's a thing where he's an actor and like has a real fight and then gets recruited to even the most dangerous fight. I could see that happening.
Yeah, or he happens to be just doing a movie role as an MMA fighter.
That too as well, because I mean that was like that's the dope thing about Mortal Kombat is like, and I remember talking about this with an old coworker. That should really have been HBO's next big thing after Game of Thrones. Is that they should have bought the rights to Mortal Kombat and made it a 10-episode series.
Yeah, this is more so, I think, a thing you should put, like you just said, as a series over a movie.
There's a whole
Because I think it
to
keeps
it.
going.
Yeah. There's so many characters and so many different backstories, and like the whole mythology is always interesting. Whenever I look it up, I'm like, because it's like they wrote it as the games were going, and then like what's canon and what's not. And again, nothing's come out, no trailers, only some set photos. But I'm still looking forward to that Mortal Kombat Spiral, which is the Saw spinoff slash sequel.
Stop. I got to do the Joe Budden meme. Stop. Stop. Stop.
Chris
No.
Rock, Chris Rock is a horrible actor. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. Yeah.
Oh, wait. That's the project he's producing, right? Or he wrote it?
Mm-hmm. I think he did both. I think he produced, wrote, and starred in it.
Okay, let's see. I forgot. Okay, never mind. Let's see what happens.
Cherry, which is the Russo brothers teaming up with Tom Holland based off the book by Nico Walker. So we'll be seeing Spider-Man strung out, Robin Banks. And I think that's going
That is him.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it on the screen. That is him. I thought it was American History X2 or some shit.
Yeah,
They keep saying Tyler Hero looks like Tom Holland.
No. Tyler Hero looks like
Yes, Jules.
Stop that. We're not doing that right now.
Every time I say it, somebody respond. I'm like, she don't? All right.
Samaritan, don't know much about that. But Sylvester Stallone, so no.
No, nah.
Morbius. Speaking of Venom, like that, they should have never made Morbius. And with Jared.
Look, I think I'm gonna watch it. It looks like they starting the multiverse with that.
See, you're gonna watch it because Tyrese is in it, and you're in the bag for you're supporting Tyrese, so of course you're gonna go see it.
That's one reason, but shouts out Black Tie High if we hear. But besides that, it actually looks like that's the start of the multiverse.
I don't want to remember in Spider-Man.
It's too late. It's done.
Even though
casted the guy Jamie Foxx in the third one as Electro again.
You want to talk about that real quick? That news?
Yeah, because Doctor Strange is in it. They got Electro in it. It's the multiverse.
All right, so they said that he won't be playing. Well, no, just Jamie Foxx said Electro won't be blue again. I think that's what he said.
He's still playing Electro.
Yeah.
So it's an alternate universe Electro. He's still Electro.
Do you think they can that the multiverse can work in live action, or no?
I said this when the greatest Spider-Man movie came out, being Spider-Verse, and I'll say it again. They're gonna have live action, and they also gonna have animation in it.
Okay.
I promise.
Like Roger Rabbit type of deal.
Once again, write this down. So when this movie comes out, I'm telling you what they're gonna do. Because
October 10th.
Look, I'm telling you, because they never announced a Spider-Verse sequel, right? And that movie made millions.
They did.
They announced it?
Yeah.
They never got into details. And that was like 2 years ago. And nobody could say anything about, because of the pandemic, because how these movies work. As soon as they make money, they start writing the next one ASAP. They didn't say nothing about what they're going to do. They didn't say any kind of, they just, we're doing a sequel, and let it go. Cut to Far From Home at the end. Everybody finds out he's Peter Parker. So in one of the alternate universes, when I'm about to get real nerd, when Doctor Strange helps him out, everybody forgets that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. But if you go back, if my memory serves me correct, that brings out the other Spider-Mans as well.
I was just about to say, isn't that where like the Spider-Woman,
Madam Web?
Yeah. Isn't that where she plays in? Because I remember in the 90s animated series, those episodes.
Yep.
There's a Spider-Man with multiple arms. There's a Spider-Man in the black and chrome suit. That one was dope.
And guess what happened? They found out he was Peter Parker.
So that's what
not those Spider-Mans, but the world found out.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. So this movie is, you think they're using that arc, the erase everyone knowing that I'm Spider-Man?
Yeah, but it's gonna come with a consequence. I got to read more into the mythology to remember everything. But for what I remember, that's how the other spiders were able to eventually converse themselves. Because think about this. Now you got me going third eye about some cartoons. Because remember, in the Spider-Verse, it was those alternate universes. And when Gwen Stacy or Gwen Spider and Miles went back to their universe, the other ones went back to theirs. It was something I think they said, or one of the portals was still open. Remember, is that whole, okay, we going to this universe and we're going back to ours. But they could play that with the whole, this portal opened up for this universe, and that could happen in the third Spider-Man movie. Because essentially, like I said, I didn't know, I forgot that they actually did announce a sequel, but they haven't been in details. And they could have came up with a sequel this year if they wanted to.
The whole thing was that as soon as it made all that money, is that they announced that they were going to make a sequel. And the weird, I think they picked like a weird choice for director. Like, I think the guy wrote The Expendables, and like he's going to be the director of it. And I'm like, that's so fucking weird. Like, okay, even he's directing this animated movie, but and the way that the first one ends, it leaves that Spider-Man 2099 is going to play a factor in it.
Yeah, and you know what he does?
Time travels, right? Yeah. That's it. Well, I don't know if he's so. I don't think you think they're going to connect Spider-Verse the cartoon to Spider-Man 3, Marvel's Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, they are, because I think around that time they announced a deal with like Sony. If I'm not mistaken, Sony announced a deal or something like that. Where remember they was going back and forth where Marvel or Disney was trying to get the Spider-Man whole franchise, but then they thought they lost it to Sony. But then after that, it was announced like, okay, so we just basically gonna split the bag for the time being.
Well, it's because that Disney didn't want to split any bag. So they made the first deal. I remember they announced that in late 2015 that they were going to include Spider-Man in the MCU, to be specific. Because again, that's Marvel. There are Marvel movies, but then there are MCU movies. Venom's in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, no one knew what the details were until I think after Infinity War, because that's when they said that Tom Holland's contract was for how many movies, and it was like he was almost halfway there.
Yep.
And then it was almost then they said that they're not going to make the third one because Marvel wasn't making any money. Apparently, it was basically a 360 deal. It's like get the character creative rights of it, but you'll get all the money. And to be fair, they got that's fucked up on them to get greedy all of a sudden. When you're Disney, just let Sony have all the money and you get the toy. It works best for everyone. So I think Marvel was in the wrong when that happened. And Sony had just made, I think it's maybe Disney was a little pissed at Sony made all the money with Spider-Verse, and that being an animation movie as well. I think Disney was like, all right, it's Spider-Man, it's animated, you're on our turf. Fuck you, we're going to take half the profits now.
So essentially with this one, because I think Morbius is the first movie that's going to be Sony and Marvel, if I'm not mistaken.
They teased Michael Keaton in it, and it shows Michael Keaton here, and in that trailer, it shows him at the end, and it's believed to be that it'll be him as Adrian Toomes, the Vulture.
Yep.
They show a Spider-Man graffitied on the side of a wall, which is like Tobey Maguire version of Spider-Man. So again, and I think they're right. So the Doctor Strange thing was announced this week. There are rumors that they would get Kirsten Dunst and Dane DeHaan back from their roles in their Spider-Man franchise.
Mm-hmm. And once that happens,
I don't want Kirsten Dunst in anything really, but especially in a Spider-Man movie again.
You got to. It's all connected. So we basically about to get Miles Morales. We about to get Andrew Garfield. We about to get Tom Holland, and then we're gonna get Tobey Maguire.
We're gonna get the guy who was They're just gonna put the animated versions in there. They're gonna Roger Rabbit it. They're gonna have animated Spider-Man.
Cause why not? Cause you know why? I think if you're executive at Sony, you look, this is what we're gonna do. So because you Disney, we basically gotta submit to you, but can we do this? Can we do a crossover? Look, can we just do a crossover doing it this way? And then we both make money. If Sony is getting most of the money, give them the money. Like, of course, Disney is greedy because they laid off 20,000 people from their theme parks. Like, they hurting for the money, but still.
Well, I think you said when WWE did that with the releases this year, is that they still had a profitable quarter after doing that. And it was it profitable because they laid a bunch of people off? No, it's that they cut expenses by not moving from
Trevor.
town to town, state to state.
And this is their most profitable year ever. They said, like, ever. This is the most money they've ever made.
There's Edgar Wright's new movie. I'm a big Edgar Wright fan. I don't know if you are or not.
I'm trying to remember some of his movies. I can't remember all of them.
Got Pilgrim versus the World, Baby Driver.
Yeah, but the concept, let's see. Never grow passionate. Let's see what happens.
It's supposed to be a horror movie. And it'll be like his first real horror movie. There's a
When they say horror movies, I'm like, this shit ain't scary.
Like, you want to talk about horror movies real quick because it's October? All right, so
we could wait.
I was gonna say you want to have a horror movie episode because I'm gonna say I watched Gone Girl the other night for the first time in a while. That's a horror movie.
Yeah, I can name some movies that are supposed to not be horror movies, but they actually are horror movies to me. Yeah, we can go past that as well. Until you fucking stop passing the ball to Danny Green and your teammates, I don't want to see nothing about LeBron. Stop passing the fucking ball.
So let's have a quick talk. All right, so I haven't been watching the finals at all because I don't want to watch Jimmy Butler win a ring, and I don't want to watch LeBron on the Lakers win a ring. So I've not been watching any of this. Even though I would root for my cousin Tyler Hero to get his shit as a rookie, I can't watch these finals.
Well, tomorrow, hey, listen, LeBron gonna get that ring, so you want to just be upset. And I'm not even a Laker fan. I'm a diehard Bulls fan, but it's gonna happen tomorrow.
Well, it was supposed to happen last night, so.
Nah, if I didn't say it, it ain't gonna happen. I said 6 games. If this happened tomorrow, people better start listening to me when I say certain things.
If the Heat win tomorrow, we're gonna have to change the name of the show now because it'll show that we aren't prophets at all, that we're liars.
Nah, it was just one universe. I messed up on the one universe.
But yeah, Space Jam: A New Legacy. They released the uniforms earlier this year. I didn't like them. All right. So yeah, Malcolm D. Lee, again, famous director for Barbershop, I believe. Girls Trip. Yeah.
Hey, whenever the young lady, classic movie, Undercover Brother.
Yeah, I saw that in the theater as a kid, and my mom was pissed that my aunt took me and my cousins to go see it.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think because I think really that she didn't want me and my brother watching like inappropriate stuff at a young age.
What's inappropriate about it?
That's what I mean when I saw him. Like nothing. Like he just doesn't like. They don't like mayonnaise. Like that's the like. What's so wrong about not liking mayonnaise?
You need to start asking her some more questions, my brother.
No, I don't think it wasn't anything like that. It was just she didn't watch like anything that had like innuendo or something like that. It was like here's the way.
Innuendo.
See, it came out in 2002. I'm 7. So.
Jesus, I was 13, I want to say.
But,
12, 13.
So Malcolm Lee has a good, filmography. But like this is, I'd say, a big project for him to direct. And it was originally supposed to be Terrence Nance, who was, I think he did the Random Acts of Flyness on HBO.
Yeah, them fucking thieves.
What?
They took the name.
Wait, what do you? Oh, because
yeah. Shouts out to Random Acts of Podcast, the real Random Acts of anything.
Wait, so it actually came out after how long was the podcast? I haven't seen that thing. Everyone in the Discord, I think, most of the people in the Discord listen to that I haven't yet. I probably should, maybe. But there's always so many podcasts to listen to. So I always just see that you guys bring that up, like Random Acts of Podcast.
Nah, you got to, bruh. Random Acts of Podcast is one of the greatest podcasts ever. They came out 2015, so Random Acts of Flyness came out a little bit after that, and it was
like 2017 or 2018, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, the motherfucker stole that name because Ant was getting busy. Ant been getting busy since I want to say 2010. He was on Nike Talk back in the day, if I'm not mistaken. But the actual name, which is Patton, came out in 2015 when the show started. And then there was another podcast that came out last year that took the exact same name of Random Acts of Podcast, but they call it something else. Like they took basically the name and tried to make a podcast, and it was this female and it's no good jabroni that try to make it their own. Fuck, and I said this years ago, even before I really was cool with Amp. Fuck random acts of flyness. Fuck that fake ass podcast that came out last year. Davis, we gonna get you on, brother. We gonna get you going. You gotta join it. We gonna get you on the Patreon.
I've been tempted, yeah. Like I said, I just like wouldn't know where to start. I would just probably have to listen like to the latest episode.
I got you. Nah, but you gotta join the Patreon. That's where the best shit. Like on Sundays when they had a bonus episode, that shit is hilarious.
I haven't joined anyone's Patreon. When BAT drops a Patreon, I'm joining that for sure though. Shout out to the Black Announce Table crew.
Yeah, join that. Join the Barbers Chair Network Patreon. Hoops and Brews. Cause you know what? When we start ours, we gonna, you know what I mean? We gotta get that love back.
All right, so this I just don't want to spend too much time, but this came out like earlier this week, the trailer for this movie. I remember they talked about making a bit story by Simon Kinberg. Talk about a finesser. Simon Kinberg he's got dirt on someone in Hollywood because he shouldn't have it.
Getting roles.
He shouldn't have
seen that trailer and I said, if it was 2017, it'll make more money.
If it was 2006, it would make more money.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, going back to what I said about Glow, yeah, like, let's uplift women, but don't give them no stupid shit. Wrestling, you can make that work.
I just saw, like, seconds of it without the sound on, but I didn't know that Simon Kinberg directed it until I just saw that, and I'm like, oh, I definitely don't want to see this movie at all, because, I mean, he wrote Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I like that movie, but his work on the X-Men.
You like it, Brad Pitt loved the motherfucker.
He did until a couple years ago.
Man, you want me to start the woke talk about Gemini women?
My mom's a Gemini, so you'd be speaking some truth to me probably as well.
Yeah, I love him. We get along very well until we don't get along. And Brad Pitt, look, keep your third eye open. His birthday is the day before mine.
Oh shit! But yeah, Simon Kinberg, him and Bryan Singer, two people that should have been in charge of the X-Men franchise, were in charge of the X-Men franchise.
Nasty man.
Definitely. But I don't want to spend any more time with them. Uncharted, the movie they've been trying to make for years and years.
No. Let's move on.
I'll just say that Ruben Fleischer is directing that. He directed Zombieland and was in Hollywood jail for a while until he directed Venom.
Let's move on. Okay. There's no reason. That's probably my top 3 favorite video game franchise. Uncharted. There's no need for this.
And you don't think that there's been any good video game adaptions, right?
No, there has been some. The Mortal Kombat movies I like. People don't like it, but I like the Super Mario movie. I like Double Dragon. Other than that, the Resident Evil movies were pretty good. Yeah, it's a couple.
Which they announced that they're rebooting those as well this week.
Yeah. No, I actually like the idea that they coming up with though.
I'm still behind on Harry Potter. The last,
Candyman was supposed to come out earlier this year, bro.
And again, it was riding high on the Abdul Mateen hype train after Watchmen. It's just getting postponed. Again, I see why they didn't have to send that to VOD because I think that will make a shit ton of money when it is released. But Jungle Cruise, there he is.
Oh, I don't need to see $7.
$7 in the jungle.
Is that what he gonna throw to the crocodile to get it, to stop it from attacking him?
In his khaki pants, cargo pants and shit.
He got cargo pants on everything he is.
Yeah. That's what we talked about last week.
Hey, look, I told you this how my brain works. I'm thinking about all these shows. I'm like, I'm gonna watch Glow. I might watch Cobra Kai. My mind is like, Hobbs and Shaw again. Okay, cool.
See, I watched Hobbs and Shaw like about a month or two ago. Yeah, I still got too many problems with it though. I like it, but I got a lot of problems with it. Shang-Chi.
No.
Oh wow, you fucking.
Hey, don't do that. I never liked that character.
I'm looking forward to it. Again, it's Marvel. Sherlock Holmes 3, I'm looking forward to.
Don't try to do me like I'm what's name in Gran Torino. Don't do that to me.
Eastwood?
Yeah, in Gran Torino. Yo, that's one of the most biggest movies of all time. Nobody talks about that shit.
Oh no, I'm not gonna say what he calls him, but when he calls him one slur, I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like,
no, I was waiting for him to drop that M-bomb. I was like, any second now. What Chris Rock said, any minute. That train is never late.
See again. So this is Red Notice, another movie by Mr.
$7.
Mr. $7 / Cargo Pants. An Interpol agent tracks the world's most wanted art thief.
I
And
was supposed to work on that.
really,
Yeah, I was in Atlanta. I went to Atlanta to work on that. And they was like, yeah, we can't get you on. I was like, bruh, what?
see, this is what I mean. So it's got Mr. $7. It's got Ryan Reynolds. It's got Gal Gadot, and it's directed and written by Ross Marshall Thurber, who
I hate his last name.
and here's why I hate Mr. $7 is that he picks these mediocre directors for these big budget movies, and that's what Ross Marshall Thurber is. He did Dodgeball and We're the Millers, really good comedies, but then he did Central Intelligence and Skyscraper, horrible action movies. Like,
See, you ain't understanding this $7 formula, bruh.
no,
It's a
I know
conglomerate.
that's what I'm saying. His formula is like, I'm gonna have these shitty decent scripts with these mediocre directors, and we're gonna make barely $100 million over the budget. That's what the formula is. If it's
But
any,
guess what? What's gonna happen with The Rock? I'm gonna get my 20 mil.
mm-hmm.
That sound like that's called hustling, bruh. You gotta respect the hustle. Like, I'm gonna get my bag. I don't know about yours. Tom
I'm not
and
gonna
Jerry.
spend too much time, but yeah, we just want to talk about some of the Mission Impossible 7 got delayed even further. Is I'd say the last thing we'll talk about briefly, who we talked about last week, the most psychopathic man in the world, more psychopathic than Michael Jordan, Tom Cruise. But again, it's Mission Impossible. I'm hyped. It's
Which movie is he gonna die in? 7 or 8?
probably 11.
Nah, 20. When they get to 20, he gonna be 70 years old, still jumping off shit. And it's not gonna be a work. It's gonna be a shoot. He gonna jump off something and finally.
He'll he'll do the
Uh,
like what that one guy did, and where he jumped from like space. That's what Tom Cruise is gonna do.
Who the fuck jump from space?
Like, remember the guy, the Red Bull guy or whatever, Felix Baumgartner, I think, or something like that.
No, I thought you was talking about. Nah, I don't remember who you talking about.
I
I
swear.
thought you was talking about what's that man that passed away. I was a fan of his too, even though he was old when he was doing stunts. By the time I started watching him, he was too old, but he was still doing stunts.
Evel Knievel?
Like, nah, not Evil Knievel. The other man, he just died recently. He was on fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, Super Dave?
Yeah,
Wasn't a real stuntman though.
I thought he was.
No, it's a joke, I thought.
Damn, you see how these movies, man, they'll work.
Yeah, because he's Albert Brooks' brother.
I thought it was a shoot. Hey, he sounded like for the longest time I thought he was John Laurinaitis.
Yeah, no, that's why if you've ever listened to the Laps fan podcast, the guy he does a John Laurinaitis, and everyone's like, and the guy he does it was like, you sound too close to Funkhauser, which is who he had the character on Career Enthusiasm. Like,
Yeah, that's Super Dave.
what are you doing?
He sounded exactly like him. We gotta go to the car.
Something like Doc. That's more Doc Rivers.
Yeah, Doc Rivers sound like Super Dave too.
Shout out to Doc Rivers for fucking, again, tricking people into thinking that Doc Rivers and Glenn Rivers are two different people, because he's now going to go by Glenn Rivers in Philadelphia.
No, he definitely gonna beat the fuck out of Ben Simmons. Glenn Rivers can fight. Glenn Rivers from the South Side Chicago. I seen that man fight in the clip. He fought what's the name? God damn, I'm blanking out with names right now.
I thought he punches Larry Bird, doesn't he?
Probably so. I didn't see that clip. I know he definitely fought. Damn, bro. Why am I blanking out with names? Anyhow, yeah, he fought the center that used to play for us, the Bulls. That's Jordan.
Oh, Bill Cartwright?
Huh?
Bill Cartwright or someone else?
Nah. Everybody joking, but like he's Michael Jordan's only security guard. The center they used to play.
Charles Oakley?
Yeah, there you go, Charles Oakley. Yeah. I seen him swing on Charles Oakley. I was like, okay, bet. And Charles Oakley known to always had a hand, so.
Yeah. That's what they say too. It's like that's the one guy you don't want to.
No, don't fuck with Charles Oakley.
Yeah, so real quick, let's go on to Perk Angle. So, did you see the clip that it was on Twitter? That's how I saw it, where Perk Angle says it. Well, Kurt Angle admits to knowing that Perk Angle is a thing that exists online.
Well, he has teenage kids.
Well, that too, but I mean, like, all right, so he actually used it to where, because the clip that I saw is that they're talking and he talks about how he was at a difficult time in his life, and that's where, like, he was taking all the pills and whatever, and Austin, and he's like, Austin, he's talking to Austin, and he's like, this Perk Angle thing, like, you've taken perks, he's like, to Austin, he's like, you can't do anything when you're on perks, let alone wrestle a match. So, like, the Perk Angle thing is inaccurate, which I'm like, it is in that sense, but we know you were popping those perks after the match, is why we call you Perk Angle, because, like, you knew you were doing such out of control shit that after you're like fucking good, got like bottles and bottles. He was doing 450s and fucking like watch. Let's.
Yeah, he said he was doing a handful of Xannies. I forgot the count. I think he said like 32 a day, which, bro, your liver should be dead. Oh, this is the actual Perk Angle clip.
That's why I'm like, look at it. Like,
Pop a perk. Give me stamina.
She ain't that there like a snack. Go get some rest, but you better than that. The bro on your head for a bandit too good. I know he a handy. So the nigga I kiss, you would get left like a bitch. Like a little shit. I ain't not spit on your face.
A man on perk.
Give me the top. I pop on my skin like 500 balls ahead of you.
Hey, I might have to run some of those matches back tonight.
we got to get Eve on to talk about the greatest hits of TNA.
Oh, yeah. He did talk about that. I'm going to hit him up. We'll both hit him up about that because Eve definitely needs to come.
I did a couple weeks ago, because I remember one time I said something to him about, and this was a few months back before COVID. I'm like, you and I, we got to do a TNA podcast about like the greatest moments in TNA. And since you're also a fellow TNA, we got to have the best of TNA podcast.
Yeah, I'm TNA to the fullest, so I get on there, bro. I'll be doing random facts. I give y'all all that.
But again,
I'll be Hubie Brown on that motherfucker.
Perk Angle is probably Mount Rushmore of TNA. It's AJ Styles. It's Perk Angle. Would you want to put Samoa Joe up there?
Yeah, no, yes. Like, that's what made Samoa Joe one of the greatest of all time. Like, he was X Division champ for like a year.
And then who?
But the thing is, the motherfucker ain't even no X Division worker. Like, he a full-ass super heavyweight.
See, that's the thing, is that's what made the X Division dope, is like what they said. It wasn't about weight limits. It was about no limits. Like,
but he only had one over the top. Well, mind you, it's not like I'm saying like the shit is easy. But he had one move over the top rope.
Basically, with the X Division title, I was like, all right, so here's a sneak preview of the TNA podcast I already was like, it was supposed to be the mid-card title of like IC and US mixed with the Cruiserweight title. So it was just going to be strictly work rate and people who weren't going to be on the top of the card. And at some point, but like guys like AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels were at certain times. Samoa Joe obviously went on to it. Then it became mainly work rate, and that, like, as people like Jay Lee.
But for the most part, it was weight class because you got Chris Sabin getting it every now and then.
It was without actually technically having one, yeah, because Samoa Joe was the biggest guy by far, but then Abyss held it for a while.
No, he's not the biggest. Him or Abyss. Jordan Grace is the biggest. She's about to be at Bound for Glory with an X Division title shot. I mean, they're going to give it to her, but.
Oh, maybe, yeah. I mean, it's her, Chris Bay, Willie Mack.
Let me see if I can.
Rohit.
We still got, 2 weeks left?
I don't watch anything about TNA. I just know from.
That's all right. I'll take care of it when we get close to it. I'll make my prediction.
No, we're never going to talk about current day TNA. I mean, if you want.
Why not?
If you want to have a segment for that, then yeah, we can do that right now.
I don't really need a segment. I just said it's great. Just don't watch the promos. They have great matches. Just don't watch it. If you want an alternative from New Japan or WWE, watch Impact or ROH. Only watch those 4 promotions.
Yeah, because those are the only other 4 besides Impact to watch.
They got other ones, but it's like, dude, I don't know what MLW was on. Like, you gotta literally put your YouTube notifications on.
Yeah, it was on BN Sports, I think. And then, what's it called? And Game Changer, GCW, they're strictly like Fight TV pay-per-views, like how TNA was back in the day with like the weekly pay-per-views. Like, So that's even like in PWG, they never ran pay-per-views, but all their shows would be on DVD. But yeah, Impact, I'm never checking for Impact anymore. It's just when sometimes I'll see something, I'll be like, I guess that's what's going on over there. Okay.
You should just tap in. Good tag teams is just.
I only did for the Chris Bay Willie Mack match at Slammiversary because Kyle at BRP said I had to, because he called that the match of the year. And I said it
was a great match. I don't know about match of the year. It was great.
It wasn't the match of the year, but it was a good match, a really good match.
Chris Bay, the wild boy on Twitter. That man said he's the king of white women. I said, good luck to you.
He did?
Oh, you didn't see that? It was in the Discord, I think, too. I was like, nah, you wild for that one, bro.
But when was it?
This was like probably, about a month ago.
Maybe I remember seeing it or I'm just forgetting it right now.
Well, you can look it up on Twitter if it's still there. I said, you out of pocket.
But that's not as bad as Ember Moon's husband calling himself a super problematic thing he calls himself about the slayer of black women or something like that.
Yeah, something. I'm like, no, you just talking about that one. And her chip being activated. That's all you talking about, bro. You ain't talking about all of them.
Well, I mean, we're talking about Ember Moon. We were talking about match of the year. The match of the year, contender at least, took place. I think it could be my match of the year. Took place last Sunday with Kyle O'Reilly, Finn Balor for the NXT title at TakeOver 31. I got to run it back because I was hosting the Zoom and we were talking, so I didn't have my full attention on it. But it was a hard-hitting match. It was a lot of striking. I'd say it was probably a very New Japan style match from both of them in terms of the amount of strikes and hard-hitting. And again, as you can see, after that, Finn Balor had a broken jaw, and then Kyle O'Reilly apparently lost some teeth, they said.
Mm-hmm.
But so that was supposed to be, and it was Kyle O'Reilly's big single showcase in NXT. But he's always been a star in my eyes, dating all the way back to like the first time I saw him in 2012 in PWG and ROH. And I'm like, this guy's awesome. I was a big fan of the first time I was getting back into wrestling full time at that point. And I never saw really a guy, except from like Samoa Joe and the one match him and Kurt Angle had at Lockdown, where as it was MMA and wrestling combined with the same thing. And that's what Kyle O'Reilly was. It was wrestling with MMA influence. And I think he's been the best to do. I know, again, someone like Matt Riddle, problematic as fuck, but came from the UFC, but doesn't strictly wrestle like a UFC fighter all the time.
Right.
But I've always thought Kyle O'Reilly was better than Adam Cole, and that was mainly because I hated Adam Cole, like really hated him for a period of time. I didn't become a full fan of his until about 2017, and when I saw him on Being the Elite, and then when he came over to NXT, that's when I'm like, okay, I like this guy now. But I just hated him in PWG and ROH. I'm like, this guy thinks he's the shit, and I'm like, you're not. But now I see him like, yeah, you are the shit.
Yeah, no, I said it 2 years ago, man. I said Kyle O'Reilly. I got the receipts right here. I said Kyle O'Reilly is better than Adam Cole, and I love Adam Cole. But I said that man, Kyle O'Reilly, is the guy. Can he cut promos better than Adam Cole? Hell no.
But he wasn't on a horrible promo with the thing either. It's like he's like on the Masked Man show, David Shoemaker said that he has Daniel Bryan potential, and I totally agree. And I've always thought that as well. As like a guy who you wouldn't think is a good talker, but is actually a good talker, and also someone who can play a comedy character like Daniel Bryan did. I think Kyle O'Reilly can do stuff like that. Like he's always shown like with the way he pronounces people's names as like a jerk thing to do. Will be like, who's the main one? Damn, he always said one about. Or he'd be like Rick O'Shea, like something like that, or
yeah.
It's like he would just like, and it like to be, but like it's funny. And it's almost sound like it's funny, but like, it's funny in wrestling where like the human wrestling 99 times out of 10 is horrible. You got like Otis with a lunchbox and with sausage in it and like the contract as well. It's like, that's supposed to be funny. Like, nah.
Listen, they just making fun of that man's weight, and they make it fun as to the fact that he is Mr. Money in the Bank, because I keep forgetting he even got the briefcase.
I think they're forgetting it as well until they put the graphic up and like, oh yeah, oh shit. He's
Until the sausage come out that goddamn briefcase. Damn ham sandwich. They're like, oh yeah.
But again, that was that was the match of the night. Obviously, it was a solid takeover. I'd say it was. I don't know if it was the best takeover of this year or the best of the pandemic era, but
It was fire though. Like I really enjoyed it. Like other than G1 Climax, that's been in its fourth quarter, even though it's still kind of early third quarter-ish, fourth quarter that we actually are in, being the fourth. I enjoyed it. I really like that takeover. I knew on the card, on paper, it was gonna be fire, but I liked it.
Well, every takeover has a really good card, and it's just a matter of like if the matches deliver or not. Like I felt like I gotta kind of rewatch the whole thing, but Priest Gargano was pretty good. Kushida Dream match just went on too long. I'd say would be the thing.
It went on a great amount of time. He's getting his ass whooped.
Well, if you want to see, the problematic Dream.
Yeah, I want to see his ass get whooped in real phrasing. I want to see him get socked up in real life.
Swerve Scott and Escobar. I think that was, I'd say, the worst match of the night. It was just sloppy at times. I think it was mainly on Escobar's end. I think he's overrated.
It's that, and Swerve is still young. Like I can tell you, what's the best way I could say this? He's still working. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I see a lot of the mistakes weren't on his end. I'd say I think they were mostly on Escobar's end, where like he either rushed up or didn't fully connect.
No, it definitely wasn't on Swerve. It was like you said, Escobar was just trying to rush through everything, and he's more so a vet, from my understanding, compared to Swerve. But he didn't understand, like, you got to kind of work with the younger person.
I mean, but also, like, I think for someone who's hyped as a luchador, I don't even think, like, I'd say guys like Lince Dorado and Kalisto are better workers than him. It's like
those are vets. That's what I'm saying.
Well, and so is he, and he's a legacy as well as the thing. Like his father was the original Phantasm, but like I think WWE signed him strictly because they missed out on Dragon Lee and Bandito. Is why I think they signed him.
Yeah,
is that they couldn't get the best match wrestlers, and the the Lucha Bros. Is that they missed out on all these luchadors.
Nah, the Lucha Bros probably never going to WWE.
Oh, no, WWE, like they couldn't get any of those guys, so they got this one who's like a C plus.
Yeah, because the Lucha Bros and WWE today, how they work, and from what I've been told, how they do stuff behind the scenes, and how they can work, but how they do the matches, I don't know if that's going to work, especially because, and it's not their fault, but the WWE has a lot of younger workers, so it's like, you know what I mean? A lot of those older guys like to bury the young guys.
Yeah.
So to speak, you know what I mean? Especially, it's the reason why the vets in WWE are, every now and then they show up, even though we don't need to see the big show, but still, you could trust those big guys, or you could trust those vets compared to the ones in the indie scene who hate the younger, because trust me, there's some names I can call out that hate that the younger guys are over and they say that ain't wrestling. Motherfucker, yes it is.
Yeah,
because they not doing ground and pound technical catches can wrestling don't mean it ain't wrestling. They probably can do that. It calls for TV, and it's, once again, you stupid motherfucker. I want to start calling out names. It's just entertainment, bro.
FTR, this whole thing, and again, these are guys who are just slightly older than the Lucha Bros. Their whole gimmick is, back in my day, like, you weren't even in that fucking day, and you're saying that like that shit was better. Like,
right, you used to start training in the early 2000s, which was 20 years ago, but still, like, if it's anybody that should be like that, it should be Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Who was training around the same time. I think he went to the same school at the same time as John Cena.
Yeah.
It was John Cena, it was Frankie Kazarian, and it was Samoa Joe. Rick Baseman, who was based out of the OC, who I met before, they were training with him simultaneously, I think at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a year apart, because I know Joe is a little bit younger than him, but no, I think it was the same exact time, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think, it's that 2001 era, because there was that, I remember watching it when I was a kid, but that my dad recorded for me. There was a special about that promotion for some, I think on TLC or something.
Yep, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
And they show a young Cena, and he's like, my dad and I were just, my dad recorded it because I am a huge John Cena fan, but my dad was like shocked by how much he ate and what he ate. It was just like a shit ton of eggs, steaks, and gallons of milk, and John Cena was like, "This is gonna last me 4 days," and my dad was like, "What the fuck?" Like, he couldn't believe.
I'm telling you, this shit sucks. As a person that gaining weight and works out, this shit is not fun. Because you got to eat. Like, I'm hungry as hell right now, but you got to eat. And then the thing is, if you don't eat, then you pay for it. Like in an hour, you just feel drained.
Yeah.
When you burn calories. So no, he's not lying. But the fact that he was eating all that and he just had little to none body fat is just still insane.
Yeah, as we said before, like that's why he's the GOAT. We always gotta mention that whenever we bring him up. Sure, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, TakeOver. The Candice LeRae Io Shirai match wasn't as good as the one they had last year, which I think was a very underrated match of the year contender. But that's because I think this Hill Candice LeRae still doesn't work well, just like Hill Johnny Gargano doesn't work well. But
they'll probably be. I'm sorry to cut you off. They'll probably be called up on Monday. That's the rumor right now.
Well, we're about to get into the. Well, we can just get into the draft now since we were just finishing up Takeover, and then we'll have our draft. But yeah, the moves last night very lackluster, like always. These drafts have been terrible in recent years. What do you think?
I mean, it don't really matter because it seems like they put talent on different shows anyway. Sometimes.
No, but I mean, like, so the first. All right, so when they redid it in 2016, that worked. I liked what they did then. The shows are a little bit more even-sided, even though it was stupid still that Raw had an extra pick every round. But when you look at the rosters at that time on those shows, it was like, yeah, you know what? Like, this is a good amount of talent on each side. SmackDown obviously had lesser, but they still had John Cena, AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, and Randy Orton on one show. And then Raw had Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and Kevin Owens. Like, it was a good, like, those are, a good amount of split between them. Whereas, like, now, all right, so we're supposed to be up in the air that, Seth Rollins gets drafted to SmackDown. Like, oh, shit, are him and Roman Reigns going to feud again? But then the Mysterios get drafted to SmackDown as well. It's like, nope, the same story is going to keep happening just on a different night. And that's where, the draft has failed in this modern era now than where before it actually worked. Like, it worked in 04, it worked in 05, it worked when they started doing it after they bought WCW.
I'm just sick of seeing Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins.
Well, that's what I
mean.
Or
Dominic versus fucking Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio, Aaliyah versus Seth Rollins, Angie versus Seth. Man, please. On Monday, please keep that man Buddy Murphy on Raw. Please do not send him to SmackDown.
I saw it earlier. I think, and that's where if you heard me earlier say, oh shit, just at a random time, I was on Instagram. So apparently Buddy Murphy is now moved to SmackDown.
Why, bro?
So that's something like this. What's the point of a draft? Roman Reigns stayed, obviously. Drew McIntyre stayed, obviously. But like, all right. So the biggest thing was that Big E got moved. Big E stayed on SmackDown, and then Woods and Kofi moved to Raw. That was the biggest thing that happened last night. And obviously, yeah, we were all in the Discord, all devastated that the New Day is breaking up in a way. It probably won't be broken up, but they'll be separated. Is what it will be. But
they could have waited for all this, man. Like, honestly, you don't need a draft. Like, y'all at the same place working. This is like, all right, on Monday I'm gonna go see my shorty, or Monday I'm gonna go see my husband. On Friday he gonna come see me, and we live together. Like, bro, y'all in the same building. It's not like you traveling from city to city separated. Like, bro, I'll just come see. I'll come to your show on Friday at the same building I work at on Monday.
Okay, well, like the big, all right, so Jey Uso was picked individually. They didn't pick the Usos. They just picked Jey Uso. And then Naomi got moved to Raw. So it's like, there's no way Jimmy Uso is going to Raw, and they're breaking up the Usos as well. Then they'd have no tag team at all. But again, like, so why would you move the man and his wife if they're all still in the same place? Who knows where things are going to be in 3 months from now? They're still probably going to be the same thing. They're still probably going to be doing Thunderdome. They're not at that arena, but somewhere else.
Right, because they lease is up. I'm like, where y'all gonna go? Back to the Performance Center? That's the only place I can go.
Or wherever NXT, what they created of NXT is what I mean. It's just a redubbed and a renamed Performance Center, but they'll probably go to that.
Yeah, which is at Full Sail, right?
No, I think it's the PC, but it just hasn't. They gave it an official name.
That's what, but so they still gonna be all going to the same building. They try to make it like, all right, bro.
But
Like
except
we about to be in different cities.
that's what I mean. It's like, and the straps, they just, yeah. Well, Bianca got moved to SmackDown. They didn't, the Street Profits weren't on in this pool. So on Monday, let's not be surprised if the Street Profits get moved to SmackDown, is what I'm like saying. Like, they don't, it's, the draft is just a letdown. Every time they announce it, I'm like, oh, this shit. Like, it used to be fun when I was growing up. Like, again, '04 was the first one I remember. The '05 one has the monumental John Cena gets drafted to Raw, and then him and
Yeah.
on the same show with both belts. They didn't have one in '06, but that's because the ECW thing was going on. And they shipped no, I think there was, yeah, they did have a small one maybe. That wasn't that big though. And then '08, that was another big one because that's again Batista got drafted to Raw, and him and John Cena are on it, and then JR gets drafted to SmackDown, and that's when he gets pissed live on TVs that he has to switch shows, as we talked about in the Discord the other day. But yeah, and we're getting to the other topic of this was that the draft had, especially in WWE, had really good moments. I'd say in the previous decade as opposed to last decade. In the 2000s, the draft was dope, and the 2010s to right now, only the last 4 years there's been a draft or a superstar shakeup, as they want to call it. It's all been very lackluster or disappointing. I can't trace back one awesome thing that happened strictly because of the draft, and that's also because they have NXT call-ups at any random time.
Yeah, I think besides the rumor that Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano, who should be the only people that getting called up, maybe Tommaso, but I doubt they're going to call him up. I think that's, you don't have to do any call-ups. It's like everybody's going to the same place. You didn't have to do this draft. You could have waited a year or however long this is going to be going on, because God knows how long it's going on. But, this is another showing of Vince McMahon just being hard-headed. Like, all right, bro. If you think this is going to make people watch your show even more, I guess so. But it's like, it's kind of like we know the same situations are going to happen. The same programs are going to happen.
Yeah.
In the same place, bro.
I missed the first round of picks. So I found out it was like Roman got drafted, Seth got drafted, the Hurt Business got drafted.
Wait, the Hurt Business? I thought they stayed on Raw.
No, that's what I mean. I just missed that happening, is what I'm saying. And that's so, and then I saw that the Mysterios got drafted to SmackDown. I'm like, wait, I thought Seth Rollins was just drafted to SmackDown. I'm like, oh shit, seriously?
No, that's all I thought about. I was like, when I saw Seth get drafted to SmackDown, I was like, please, man, leave the Mysterios on Raw.
And I forgot that they were doing the pool because Ricochet was picked, and I'm like, who picks Ricochet this early? And I say this to someone, I'm not anti-Ricochet like you, okay?
Yeah.
But I'm just like, who would pick Ricochet this early? And I'm like, oh, wait, I forgot they're doing that. And I forgot that they were even doing that. But I'm like, that stupid thing they did last year where it was like, and those rosters almost matched up exactly how the pools are set. So that's why I was like,
Send Apollo to SmackDown, let Ricochet stay by himself with the Hurt Business on Raw.
Yeah, real quick, I mean, the leader of Retribution was revealed to be Ali. Did you want to talk about that real quick or no? Because this week in wrestling was kind of, it was all right. I mean,
fuck 12, but I like Mustafa Ali.
Shout out to, again, Black Announce Table for posting the 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They think they bang, and then, all right, bro.
Yeah,
I'm like, cool.
It's like, and BRP, because I was doing the stats for them earlier today, everyone thinks it's a payoff to the hacker. No fucking way. WWE doesn't know what they did 6 months ago.
It might be. They might, damn, we fumbled the bag. We got to do something for him.
It's not. No way in hell it's a payoff to the hacker.
But maybe they did forget, and it was just like, hey, man, just give him something to do. He actually better than Apollo and Ricochet, so fuck it. And he used to be a cop.
So you think that had Vince McMahon's attention? Like, he was a cop. I like cops. Big boss man. You want to do that?
Yeah, he might start dressing like the big boss man.
Oh, my God. And that in a mask? Oh, shit.
That's going to be the WrestleMania main event. The Hell in a Cell, they had Undertaker versus Boss Man and that problematic finish.
Yeesh. Yeah. That's the thing we're now. Imagine if that happened now.
I mean, being that Mustafa is the cop, never mind.
What's the worst thing that happened in the like, and that's similar to that in the last couple of years? I can't think of something that was that problematic in a way, because they've tried to do a good job at least of not doing shit like that anymore.
Yeah.
Well, we're all right. So we just talked about the kind of history of the WWE draft. What are some of your favorite draft moments in like NBA, NFL? Because I got one for the NBA.
Several. The NFL draft is never that turned up. Like, I guess because it's so long. Other than this year with CD Lamb taking the cell phone away from his girl.
Hey, yeah, this year NFL draft was actually pretty good because people were at home in a way. And it was
Right.
like the delayed reaction was like, but the CD Lamb taking both phones. Yeah. Old timer.
But other than that, like the NBA drafts is always the best one for the
NBA
most part.
draft is the best thing in anything. And my favorite NBA draft moment is the Jan Vesely moment where he kisses his girlfriend as soon as he gets picked. Like they announced the Wizards select Jan Vesely, and he gets up, kisses his girlfriend live on TV, and everyone's like, "Oh!" And he never played like more than 2 seasons, and he was picked 5th overall.
He knew he was trash. That's why. So he like, hey, just trust me. This is a kiss of trust me. After this, I'm gonna probably get a job selling cars somewhere, or I'm gonna go back to the country. I go back to country, I become farmer. I don't know. The 2014 NBA draft, 2 great moments happened. Joe Embiid looking like, bruh,
I'm going
to the 76ers. And then Zach LaVine saying fuck when he found out he going to the Timberwolves.
I remember seeing that. Again, I was already living in Minnesota by then, and he was from UCLA. So I'm like, I can totally relate to someone leaving California to Minnesota. I was the exact same way.
Right. And Minnesota is a hype, but it ain't LA.
But I lived there a full year, so I was still in the mindset of like, this place fucking sucks. It snows all the time. So him being like from Seattle, Washington area, I believe, and then going to UCLA and then having to go to Minnesota, it's the exact same thing. Like, oh fuck, it snows there, doesn't it? Like, shit.
Right. Seattle was fire too. I like Seattle.
The 2013 draft had the Bill Simmons. Whoa! When Anthony Bennett gets drafted #1 overall.
Yeah. And a move the fucking Cavs and Dan Gilbert should regret. Well, they should regret a lot of things, but definitely that's up there.
And then Victor Oladipo goes 2nd, and then Giannis goes 13th, I think, in hindsight. Like that
Yeah.
Bro.
That's considered the worst draft in history, if I'm not mistaken, besides the 1999 one.
Yeah, I'd say it's those two. Bill Simmons would always have his draft running diaries, and those are always great. But I remember. All right, so another one is, it's not a great moment, but it's a funny thing where the Timberwolves took 2 point guards back to back.
Johnny Flynn and fucking Ricky Rubio. I'll never forget that. That was the 2009 draft.
Yeah, that was the day Michael Jackson and Farrah Fawcett died.
Yeah, no, I remember that day vividly.
Same. I remember we went to see Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen right after that.
Oh, so you just had a fucked up day all around. You just had a bad day, bro. You went 3-peat with the bads. God damn, Revenge of the Fallen was one of the worst movies ever.
Yeah, we had it on. It was like, I saw Ricky Rubio get drafted, and I'm like, this guy's awesome. Like, he's doing behind the back passes. He's fucking, and then like they take Johnny Flynn, and I'm like, whoa, did they just take a point guard? And I'm really into sports. I'm like, this is kind of weird. And then Steph Curry gets drafted, and I hated Steph Curry coming out of college. I hated him at Davidson, and he got drafted by the Warriors. And growing up in the Bay Area, I didn't root for the Warriors really because they always made terrible drafting decisions. Like, and I thought Steph Curry was one of those. Turns out I was wrong. But
right, it turns out this man changed the NBA forever.
I kind of liked the Kings, so I was hyped that they took Tyreek Evans, who had probably a top 5.
God damn, you was tripping. The Kings kind of, except for when they had Oscar Robertson and they was the Cincinnati Royals, they kind of been trash. Like, they got screwed over like with that whole Chris Webber, Mike Bibby team and Paige Stojakovic, but still.
Yeah, talk about
Hedo Turkoglu. Hey, you might be too young for this, but I'm gonna put you onto this bar. We got more foreign shooters than the Sacramento Kings. Shouts out to Lloyd Banks.
But yeah, the back-to-back point guards and not one of them being Steph Curry is like an all-time what the fuck in NBA draft history. The Kevin Love. Oh no, I mean the Kevin Love. No, OJ Mayo not wanting to go to Minnesota, so they trade Kevin Love for the worst version of that is Steve Francis getting drafted by Vancouver, and he's like,
He's like,
I'm not going there.
yeah. Hey, he said, I'm not going there. They draft me. I'm not showing up to practice. I ain't doing shit.
Which leads to my probably again, it's a hockey one, but Eric Lindros was drafted #1 by the Montreal by the Quebec Nordiques, and he flat out told him like, I'm never gonna play for you. Like I want to be traded, and he was to Philadelphia, and the Nordiques got a haul of draft picks and young players, and ended up winning cups as the Colorado Avalanche. And Eric Lindros never won a title and had his career ended by concussions. Him pulling up the shit, what's it called?
Yeah. I don't remember I don't know how NHL drafts work. Do they just go to the middle of like wherever the fuck Europe or in East Russia, and they just kind of like, all right, we want you to play hockey. You look like you missing teeth. You look like you hungry, like you out of cabbage. So you come play with, like, where do you draft these white dudes that can fight? Like, these motherfuckers can really fight.
All right, so we're coming to the end of the show. So Banks and I are gonna real quick, gonna draft our rosters for if we each got a promotion today. What are the 10 men and then 10 women that we'd want in our promotion? So we'll pick both simultaneously, one man, one woman, and we'll do snake fashion. So if you want to go first, that means I get to go back to back. If I go first, that means you get to go back to back. So I'll leave it up to you since I decided it.
All right, well, I appreciate that. I would have went second, but first pick out the gate, my money maker would be Roman Reigns.
Okay. And then what woman are you taking?
Bianca Belair.
Damn.
You got, bruh, that's who gonna bring in the money. If WWE listen, Bianca Belair bring in that paper, especially if we have live audiences.
Okay, so I'm going to be bold. I'm not really going to draft a lot of WWE people in mine. I'm going to take Jay White #1.
Oh, Jesus, you ain't making no bread.
Just because he's
I'm looking at it from a business perspective. Like, yeah they can wrestle.
I'm going to be what AEW wanted to be. Like, we're going to do work rate and all that. And I'm going to take Io Shirai with my other pick.
That's cool. But you got to bring in the marketing dollars, bro.
I know, and that's what I'll do. So, again, since I'm going back to back, I'm going to take Charlotte. That's marketing. And then I'm going to take Kyle O'Reilly.
Damn.
All right. Now it's your turn, and you get back-to-back picks.
You know what? You took Jay White. I had to think about that shit. I'm going to take Naito.
Oh.
And then I'm not doing this on purpose, but Asuka.
I was hoping I'd get both her and Io Shirai.
Nah, bro, you can't have all the Japanese women.
I wanted to get all the Japanese women.
Yeah, I know.
Got me sounding like Rock.
Yeah. We can't say, you know what I mean? Still.
No, I think we'll unofficially be the podcast of the Discord. I think we'll be like the Discord.
We can, because because you know what my favorite chat is. If we was in that one on live, boy, they get me out the paint.
Yeah. All right, and then you get 2 more picks. So you get who you going next?
Let me go with Seth Rollins. And then I'm keeping one of my crushes, Pam, aka Bailey.
Perfect, because now I'll take Sasha Banks.
Oh, cool. Guess who's gonna make more money?
Me.
If Coach was here, you know what he'll say.
That's kind of why I had to. And what guy am I gonna? If this was 3 years ago, I would have taken Okada right now. But I feel like his body's too broken down.
Nah, you can tell the moves ain't crisp no more. That man was on G1 just.
I'm taking
the bumps ain't crispy.
I'm taking Tyler Bate because he's super young. He's basically my age. And then,
the man that be wearing all the Fashion Nova.
Yeah, exactly. He's talking about drip. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll take Tony Storm.
Damn.
And then I mentioned him earlier. I need a luchador, and I think he's the best one out of all of them. I'm taking Bandito. And I think he's doing this thing in ROH, and I don't watch ROH, and I feel like I should just to see him.
Yeah, no, you got to tap in.
All right, so now you get the next 4 picks.
Give him a bigger platform. I would go with Chris Bay.
Oh, nice. Damn.
Because he'll definitely work on a bigger platform. And as far as the woman goes, let me go with Naomi.
And you get 2 more. All right, so you're halfway there. You got 5 men and 5 women.
You got me really thinking about it. And the crazy thing is, I'm not even thinking about entertainment. I'm like, damn, who's going to get us some money? I might be missing, man.
That's what you see. Your mindset is the smart mindset. My mindset's like, what matches do I want to see?
No, but it's all fun. That's how it works.
I'm saving. That's how if I'm getting $100 million, I'm pocketing 90 and I'm spending 10.
I know how I shouldn't have went with it except for Seth Rollins, but it's all good. I'm going with Sonny Kiss.
Oh, nice.
And Nyla Rose.
Okay.
See, boy, man, we already, bro. We can cash out with the merch.
So I'm going with Orange Cassidy.
Okay.
And then I'll go with Dakota Kai.
You know, she holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, oh shit. And then I'll go another AEW guy. I think the 2 guys I'm picking from AEW, I think are the future. Darby Allin.
Good pick.
And then what other woman? See, if Kairi Sane was wrestling, I would pick Kairi Sane, but she's not wrestling right now, so that doesn't count. And see, Tegan Knox gets injured too much. I'll take, because I was impressed by her match with Io Shirai. I'll take Shotzi Blackheart.
Damn, you took another one. All right, how many? I got, 2 left?
3 left. So, but you get 2 of them each right now. So you get 4 picks total you get 4 out of 6 picks right now.
My man Scorpio Sky.
Okay.
Even though he did say some goofy shit earlier this year.
So does that mean you're taking Tessa Blanchard next, or?
See, exactly. That's why I'm like, damn, bro. I know this motherfucker could draw in money, even though he said some goofy shit, but everybody seems to be caping for a long face having ass. All right. Taya Valkyrie as the next pick.
And you get 2 more.
Let me get my man Evil.
Oh.
And then Rhea Ripley.
See, that's who I was forgetting for a woman. I was like, even though like I said, I've been impressed by Shotzi Blackheart lately, I wasn't at first. So I'm going. I'm shocked I forgot to pick him right away. Montez Ford.
Yeah, we tripping. We getting the Africans because I was like, Private Party should be high on our list too.
Well, I'm saying we're only picking singles. We're not picking tag teams. So, and then, you took Rhea Ripley. Who else is good? And that's the thing. AEW just doesn't have many
women.
Yeah, many good women. I'm trying to think.
Shit, get Big Swole.
I should take Big Swole. Yeah. Cal will be that. I gotta do it just for Cal at least.
Do it for all of us. Trust me.
And then, okay, all right. I think I got. I don't know who else in New Japan I'd take.
Good man.
Who?
He built like you. What's my dude's name? The British dude.
Tyler Bate. I already took him. Yeah.
No. The other British dude. That's in New Japan.
Mark Andrews.
No, what's his name?
Oh, in Japan.
I can't think of no names right now, but trust me, you know what I'm talking about. He's British, skinny dude.
Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
He's not skinny. He's built now. Like,
that man they keep capping talking about that man 185. That man 160, bro.
I think I gotta pick Kenny Omega.
I mean, he on his last leg, so yeah, you can get about 2 years out of him.
That's what I'm afraid of. I'm like, I'm already regretting that. Out of everyone else in AEW.
No, bring him to WWE right now and just have him at 2 matches a year. Get that body breaking down. Did it for the love of the game. The fuck? Do something for the love of the game, man. If you don't get your paper.
But I'm also gonna sell a shit ton of cleaner shirts with Kenny Omega, and then
Still a lot of XXX shirts. Fat motherfuckers. He's the greatest of all time. Shut your fat ass up.
I'll take Mandy Rose, even though I don't want to. I just
listen.
I'm picking with something else right now, not my brain.
Listen. That's what I'm saying. It's all right. Trust me. It's all right.
You know she's had some moments.
No, be 100. She is in the ring, and I'll be honest with you. Listen, she could be. Listen, I got a couple minutes. She could be as bad as she want in the ring. I don't give a fuck, baby. Just keep dropping them Instagram pics for life. Thank you.
And I got Asuka. I mean, I got Io Shirai, Sasha Banks, Toni Storm to work with her. It'll work. All right, and now we each get our last 2 picks. 1 man and 1 woman each.
God damn. Let me go with Cedric the Alexander.
And I'll trade you Big Swole for Rhea Ripley.
Okay, cool, bet.
Okay. That way you can get the husband. Oh, see, I got Bianca. So you can trade me Bianca for.
No, we ain't doing that, Chan.
Well, I'm not letting Montez Ford go. I wanted to take Montez Ford too. I forgot why I didn't take him, because I think when he's a single star, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He already got the S curl cracking, so.
Yeah, so you got Nyla Rose and Rick. You got 2 powerful women. I got Charlotte's my version of Ray. Yeah. So and then, all right, who's your last woman pick?
Let me go with Kylie Ray. That's an Impact.
Okay. All right, my final pick. I knew it. I got the guys. There is a man who 3-4 months ago I would have picked that he is now the problematic dream. So I would have taken.
Bro. Trust me, I'm with you. He probably would have been my first pick.
He would have been second my first pick. You know what? I gotta take Keith Lee.
Yeah, damn, we forgetting about him.
No, I wasn't forgetting. I'm like, I should have took him before Kenny Omega. And then I'm not taking Mia Yim. Sorry, Keith. I'm not bringing.
No.
Coach will be mad I took Sasha, but he won't be mad that I took Mia Yim. So, who else on SmackDown's really good? See, that's the thing. The women, we already got them. No, because she's gone. It has to be like kind of currently right now, because everyone we got right now is actually active.
You know she coming back. She just on vacation right now, but she deserved it after some nasty motherfuckers was wilding. Into my heart.
See, you know what? I'll take Hikaru Shida from AEW Women's Champ. Since I can't get Kyrie.
I thought you was gonna say ODB.
If I knew, no, who's the women's champion in Impact? Oh no, Deanna Purrazzo. Yeah, I'm not taking. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, listen. I wanted to, but you know, I'm trying not to be that guy.
So you know what? I'll put this in the Discord and see what I'll ask everyone who has a better draft. And Coach is gonna react right away to
Right, because he don't be in the Discord unless it's time to slander somebody.
yeah. But Banks, yeah, I think our draft actually went pretty well. I think your show
We making money.
Well, again, see, I don't want to pick Roman because, well, I mean, you got to be the first pick. Roman's probably going to leave in 2 years, so that's like my Sasha.
That's all right. That's all right. We gonna make this paper.
That's like
before he leaves.
See, that's why I took Kenny Omega. Like, I'm going to sell a shit ton of merch, but like, he's only going to try every 8th match, which I'm here for it. But everyone else, I took my favorites: Jay White, Kyle O'Reilly, Tyler Bate. Cassidy and Darby Allin are next up, even though Cassidy's secretly like 30 years old. So is Montez a little bit, but like he's next up. Keith Lee is current. But you got Sonny Kiss, Chris Bay who are young.
Bianca, she 30. She 31.
Yeah, but she's also
most of the people I got on my list about 30 something. Bailey 30 something, or she just turned 30. No, I'm tripping. Wait, no, she like 28.
But you took both Naito and Evil, so but again, Evil's in Bullet Club now, so that's not too. But out of Lij, though, I would have probably taken Naito and currently Hiromu. If you asked me, like when I first started watching New Japan, it would have been Naito and Sonata. But
right.
I took Bandito. Again, like I said, I need to sell Mask. I think he's the best Mask wrestler. Again, you got Bailey. So yeah, Bailey, Bianca, Asuka, Naomi, Nyla Rose, Taya Valkyrie, Rhea Ripley, Kylie. That's not a bad women's division. And I got Io, Charlotte, Sasha, Toni Storm, Dakota Kai, Shotzi, Big Swole, Mandy Rose, and Hikaru Shida. Yeah. Well, again, it took us a while to record this episode. Funny thing, I had plans Thursday. Then Banks, I think you were just watching the game last night, or you had something else?
No, I had something else going on, but it wasn't no.
We just had stuff going on. Otherwise, this episode would have been uploaded by now. But so stay tuned. Again, this will promote it on our Twitters and IG. He's at Banks Norris 2. Banks Norris 2. I keep saying Norris.
Hey, just follow the Twitter because the IG about to go. I hate IG.
I don't know why I always say. I said it last week. I don't know why it's Norris. It's no rest. I just read it.
Yeah, I don't know who Norris is. Banks No Rest 2. Follow me on Twitter. If you try to look for me on IG, I won't be there. I hate that shit. I don't want to be on IG no more. I don't like taking pictures. I don't give a fuck about showing people what I'm doing. All I do is work out 5 times a week and figure out what the fuck else to watch on TV or what to play on PlayStation.
Yeah, and I'm at Davis Colton DC on IG, at Davis_Colton1 on Twitter. So again, we'll upload this it'll be uploaded by tonight or sometime tomorrow. And they called us Madmen. I don't think we had a lot of predictions this episode. You said Heat in 6. LA in 6. So we'll have to wait and see that. But
and Spider-Man's
probably going to be our biggest one. And that's just because all the pieces are put together for that to happen. But everything else, we just kind of recapped, and we'll have to. We'll always have to have a combo like last week where we just go fully in depth on a topic like MJ versus Tom Cruise. We kind of had a little bit with stuff we talked about, especially with the most anticipated movies. But I'll say it right now, 2021, those movies are going to be pushed back even further.
Yeah, because Batman is getting pushed back to 2022.
All right. Oh, shit, you got to leave. We didn't talk about Pattinson. Damn it.
No, let's talk about it next week, though.
Yeah, all right, because maybe more stuff will come out. That'll be our next week. We'll talk about who and why Robert Pattinson should be replaced. We each got to come up with a guy who will replace him with.
For sure.
All right. Peace.